ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Casting the Spotlight episode number 213.
Glad you remembered.
Oh yeah, well, coming off of the big old divisional weekend football. Yeah, it's we gotta hit our marks here, and that was wild.
Yeah, rather crazy divisional weekend. Not necessarily all the results I wanted, but
They weren't.
we'll move on.
Yeah, I think that not that we have to get into it. I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about it a little later too. But
I don't have a whole lot of stake in the game at this point.
no, but I think it'll be fun to kind of discuss as it moves into like the championship games and the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think after the Bills lost the AFC divisional round against the Broncos, that just deflated a lot of people for the games that were after that, because then you knew the Bills like it was just over, and then it was just like, oh, okay, we're gonna have a new champion, and it's not gonna be Josh Allen again.
Couldn't make it this year to the AFC Championship, man.
No.
It's like, how? Come
and
on,
usually
bro.
a lot of times he'll get there.
I know. That's the real head slapper. It's just, man, it's a bummer. And it's like, the Bills aren't even my team or anything, but it's just, Josh Allen he's a great quarterback, He's one of this era's, like, he's an elite, so you kind of wish it'd break through just 1 year, even to be in the Super Bowl 1 year,
Mm. It would have been huge for like town of Buffalo for sure. They've wanted one for a while with Josh.
Yeah.
But he keeps coming up short. And now we've got a Bo Nix-less Broncos versus the Patriots.
Yeah, I saw NFL today was sharing some videos of like Jarrett Stidham with his kids, like before the games, like his daughter and his son, like down on the field with him. He's like picking him up and putting the helmet on him, and like they're trying to sell us on Jarrett Stidham. I can appreciate it. He's got to be the guy. If the Broncos want to make it to the Super Bowl, Jarrett Stidham's got to step up and be like Nick Foles. And what was it, like 2017 or was it 19?
It was the 2018. It was
18
2017, but 2018 Super Bowl.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Dude, Nick Foles, that NFC Championship game, threw for like 320 yards. So if Jarrett Stidham comes in and he's just a baller, I
They
might
do have a
actually
great
be
defense.
like, this could be a decent Super Bowl.
They do have a great defense, though, but that would be a little bit underwhelming in a sense. And then on the other side, we got a game that could be the best out of what we could watch next, which is the Seahawks and Rams. That is going to be a hell of a game to watch.
Yeah, that's going to be very intriguing indeed. Divisional rivals.
Mm-hmm.
Same division.
Sam Darnold.
NFC West standing strong in the NFC this year, regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, they're like, they've sniffed around that NFC conference picture like every year.
Who?
Somebody within the NFC West is like always within the picture.
Yep. Well, not the Seahawks in a little while, but
no.
Usually the Niners and Rams, but I mean, even the Rams are still involved like this late in the game. There is part of me that thinks we may end up with the Patriots Seahawks Super Bowl, but Matt Stafford, man, like I don't know, he's played in some of these games and he knows how to, it all depends on how it goes. Like the Rams could realistically go also.
Yeah, I mean they have potentially the most high-powered offense in the league.
They might be the only people left that could stop the Seahawks.
I mean, after the Seahawks just
murdered
just
the Niners.
Stomping, the San Francisco 49ers. Like that, and that's not even really taking anything away from the Niners because they made it to the divisional round. I mean, with the depleted team they had. So that's giving them something for sure.
Yeah.
But that was one-handed from the get-go. So, and they're back at home in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
You know they're going to have the crowd. So,
definitely some Rams fans will go up there, though.
oh, yeah. I mean, 49ers fans did as well. But it's like that place was loud.
But so, yeah, it'll definitely be in their favor.
It'll just...
That's going to be such a fun game.
Yeah, it'll be intriguing to see. I mean, I don't even think within... There's definitely a reasonable world where Matt Stafford gets it done.
Yeah.
It could easily happen. Like, and not even him, but Puka
Nakua,
Devontae Adams, Kyron Williams. Like, they have an offense. So, Colby Parkinson's even, you know. Like, they have weapons they can go to where he utilizes everybody.
Yeah.
So, they have a world where they can hang in there, but I don't think it'll be easy. No. Sam Darnold, man,
and that defense
he's gotta prove
insane.
Himself again. This is the game.
They're like, they've had so many turnovers, the Seahawks defense. Like, they're so good at getting the turnovers.
Yeah.
I don't know, and they got JSN, who's like, you know, maybe the number one wide receiver of the year.
Yeah, the Seahawks defense, man, they're nothing to play with.
No,
so.
and like they have a better special teams than the Rams, but obviously the Rams have Matt Stafford. In the QB position is where it could make the difference. I'm not saying anything against Sam, but like Matt Stafford is one of the best even still.
Yeah,
and he gets. I
mean,
late
this is one of his best years. This is like his MVP.
And you know, you've been watching him even longer, so it's like, you know, he can get it done and throw it. So it's just like, it is going to come down. That is going to be that's going to be fun. And like, I do expect, and I think the Patriots Broncos will be fun also. It's just going to be kind of interesting. I mean, that could be a great game. We'll see how it goes. But just with the Bo Nix news, it kind of is a damper in a sense.
Bummer.
It is, because not only do we not have Josh, now we don't have even the team fully that made it there. So,
I just want him to find a way to make it in. Wrap that ankle up, bro. Just wrap it.
So what is your... Would you rather see the Broncos versus the Seahawks, or would you rather see the Seahawks versus the Patriots?
At this point, Seahawks-Patriots.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I think so. That would be so huge for Drake May. Make it that far.
Yeah.
My lord. There is definitely still a realistic world, too, where somehow the Patriots pull off the Super Bowl win this year. It could happen. I'm not saying that's the likeliest scenario. I personally think the winner is going to come out of the NFC Championship game. I think no matter what.
Yeah.
If Stafford gets there, he's winning the Super Bowl. But I think if the Seahawks do, they will. Yeah, it's just... I think it's going to go that way this one.
That'll just be a real rub in the face of Detroit if he wins another one with the Rams.
I know. It would, but, you know, it's how it went. He had some success there. Anyway, do we want to move on to this or that?
Yeah, we can.
And this is a very unique one tonight, because obviously we started the movie swap segment, you know, back when we first started the podcast, within a few episodes of it. And then it took a hiatus for a number of years, and we brought it back, and we've done it like about 10 times since then. So we've got enough to put them in this or that style segment. So it's basically, you know, repackaging one segment's, you know, I guess premise into like another's, in a sense. Because we reviewed all these films. Some of them were years back, but we have watched all the movies we've given each other over the years. So we've done, up to now, because we're going to review our 16th tonight, so we've done 15 in the past, which means we could exempt 4 out of this round. And if we revisit this segment with the movie swap reviewed movies, films, that's a mouthful either way. But if we do it like that way, it's kind of another way to revive those films to kind of talk about everything again in another sense. So I really like
revisit all of them.
Yeah, I really like that. So I guess you're gonna be up first. Everything I've given you.
So yeah, it's what you're giving me is the movies that you have given me to watch.
Yeah.
And then I'm giving you the movies.
Doesn't it make more sense that way?
Yeah.
If so, we'd have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it definitely makes more sense.
Yeah. I mean, we could still do it the other way, but then you're just kind of being like, all right, what do I think of the movies I gave you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it'll be kind of interesting in that sense. So I wasn't sure what to pick for your main, but I landed on one that I was like, we'll see how it does. I don't know how it'll do, but it makes it interesting that I don't know. So I picked for your measuring stick, Dream Scenario.
I mean, it is an intriguing film. I'll give it it scores the most points for me in originality. Because it's its own type of movie, for sure. There's nothing really like it.
No.
I mean, it's definitely like one of those like recent Nick Cage projects that's just like, he's just doing whatever. You know, he's out there making just original kinds of movies nowadays, so.
Yeah.
I think it's A24, isn't it? Dream Scenario?
Yeah.
I think they did.
That was the movie that I gave you whenever we revived the segment after like the years of hiatus.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we did 6 the first time until we took the break, and then we've done like 10 since then, or tonight will be our 10th one back. So we've been pretty good with it. But it'll be kind of interesting because some of these like we may not have watched in a long time, and the memory may be a little harder to decipher. But you'll kind of know in a sense, because if you felt that way about it, or if you don't totally remember everything, maybe it's worth another viewing, but maybe it'll go a different way. You know, depending on, excuse me, this beer, man, it's getting to me. All right, well, tonight we'll see how it goes, because I'm like, that'll be an interesting one. I don't know where it'll rank. It's up to you. So first up, we've got Dream Scenario or Air.
Yeah, I'd probably lean Air in that one. Like I said, that was one of the ones that kind of like stuck out for me in a lot of different kinds of scenarios. It's just kind of like, I enjoy those partially like biographical. It wasn't even like necessarily a biographical movie, but it was kind of just like a movie about how something was made.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was kind of like, it was cool. It's like really 80s too, so that was pretty cool.
The explosion, man, the Michael Jordan era.
And just
and
how,
the shoe.
what they went through to get him, basically.
Mm.
Like, let's just invest all of it into this guy.
Yeah, all their like $250,000.
We'll just give him his own shoe. Nobody ever did that. It was really cool though. It was like, the way it was told and done was really, it was like inspirational in a lot of ways. You know, like Sonny, the Matt Damon's character, the main guy, he was just like, his relentlessness and his pursuit of trying to get Michael Jordan was just like, he risked basically everything.
He did.
Like, he was, if this didn't work out, his career was over.
Yeah.
So it was like, the relationship that he developed with Michael Jordan's mom too, because that's like ultimately who he had to sell.
Yeah.
Like once he got her on his side and she like kind of like saw that he really did see Michael Jordan as something special, and he wanted to like do something around this kid, you know? She like kind of let him in a little more.
Yeah. I love, and I think we talked about it on episodes previously, whenever we did the movie review over air, but I love Phil Knight's like willingness to just go after it, even though he knows so little sometimes about whatever they're investing in. He's just like, how much you need? And then he's just like, fuck it, let's go for it.
He was, they're like...
He's still the guy there, man.
The shoeless CEO.
Yeah.
For a shoe company.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, and that, they made it such an entertaining tell at like a deeper kind of level. And yeah, like Michael was one of the focal points in that sense, but it wasn't like the story revolved around him being in it a lot or anything. In fact, like I kind of like the way they did it. Like he came in and everything, but they didn't really focus on him. Like they kind of side camera, you know what I mean? Like he was in the room and you knew he was, but it was kind of more about aura than it was about, because the movie, was kind of about that, but it wasn't like Michael Jordan wasn't the main
It was
character.
more about,
you know what I mean?
the people that made the Air Jordan
Yeah.
brand.
Yeah. And even though he was like the focal point of like why it was all being made. So I loved it. I was like, it got crazy reviews anyway, but then I like watched it and I was like, holy shit. I was like, I gotta watch. I did watch it before we
And I'm not even like one of the real sneakerhead people, like the people that are like, that's my thing, where I collect sneakers and stuff like that, but I'm sure it was kind of like partially targeted towards that crowd, and like, basketball is not even my favorite sport. It's just like that, the way that movie was told, and like, I know who Michael Jordan is as a figure, you know what I mean? So just like, because nowadays, living in the era we grew up in, even, it's like Air Jordan was a huge thing.
Yeah.
So just seeing how it all kind of came to be, and the actual like straight up risks they took to do it, because Nike, like, it's kind of crazy to think, but they weren't the main brand.
No,
they
grew
weren't
that
the
company
guy
so
at that
much, or helped.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy, the whole story of it. Like that's a great one to recommend. I feel like people watch.
Yeah.
So anyway, he took Air over it. I know. I was like, man, you definitely seemed like you liked Air. So I was like, well, maybe I should make that one the main. All right. Well, we're gonna dial it back in time a little bit here. Dreams. I'm gonna react that way to yours, dude. It's like some of them, man. My memory, it's not great. A lot of times I've learned that too, and I don't know if it's, however, but I'm like, in order for me to soak it in, I do have to watch movies a few times, sometimes like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And it's just been like that. Even like, I mean, we'll get to them. So anyway, dream scenario, took a loss to Air, man. Gave it the old slap. I just say that. No,
just started. The list just started.
Because now it's become like a quote. It's like, all right, next up, we've got dream scenario, or it all started because you like gave that dream scenario, or Gangs of New York.
Oh,
gave you
man.
that way back. So Daniel Day-Lewis,
Yeah.
Cameron Diaz, Leonardo DiCaprio, old school New York.
Yeah, it was like the gangs of, like, wasn't it the different kind of like cultures and immigrants and stuff that were immigrating
parts
to
of New York too.
Yeah,
even what
like
it's divided into.
Harbor, and people were against the Irish and against like certain groups of people, and they split off and again. And I mean, there was a cool, because I like history.
Martin Scorsese
and Daniel Day-Lewis, who is a great actor.
Oh yeah, he's great.
Like, I really enjoyed that movie, but I feel like I would enjoy it more if I watched it now. 100%. Like, I'd probably get a little more out of it. And it's just been so long that it's hard for me to even say at this point. But I remember liking it.
Yeah. When
I watched it, but I also know it's probably not like everybody's cup of tea. It's long. It's kind of slow. It's a historical film. It's like, what, 3 hours? Or
dude, it's a master filmmaker's piece of art.
It is. I enjoyed it, but just because it's probably recency bias, but I'm going to give it to Dream Scenario. If I watch Gangs of New York again, I'd probably lean that way.
Yeah.
Just how I would suspect, but for now, yeah, because it's not like I watched Dream Scenario and I was like, this movie sucked.
Yeah.
You know, like, I got enjoyment out of it. It was really original and odd. It was
Yeah.
out there. It wasn't
Nick
like
Cage was great.
Yeah, it was definitely a Nick Cage kind of movie.
Mm-hmm. Which could be any range of things.
Yeah. It was just out there and strange.
All right, well, next up we've got Dream Scenario or Pool Hall Junkies. It has been like fucking more than 6 years since we watched that and reviewed that shit.
Yeah.
But we had a good time with it, I think, and you probably thought it was like kind of a comedy too, but sort of like that skill game, sports drama thing. Because pool is obviously like not a sport per se in that sense, but like just as much as darts or things like that.
Yeah. It definitely had its funny moments. I remember enjoying the comedy aspect of it.
It is cool whenever they can properly set up a third act for like for like a pool game on film, like the we watched probably about a year ago, The Hustler and The Color Money.
Yeah.
And they, I would say they like a lot of it hinged on the performances too, like in terms of like Paul Newman, like he's got to sell it like as Eddie. Man, he did. I mean, I thought he was great both times. Won his Academy Award for The Color Money. I don't know. I think as far as a film, it's now that you've seen all of them too, and we can speak on it. Bring Pool Hall Junkies back in the fold, even though you're the one answering. I think in ways, Pool Hall Junkies did its way. It did its kind of thing to pay homage to because he like Johnny was wearing that Hustler black and white shirt and the white lettering, and then if you remember Vince, Tom Cruise was wearing the shirt that said Vince in black and white.
Yeah.
Whenever he walked in there and stuff, because he's like, oh, that's a nice touch, like, because he wore it as his like retail job where it was just his name was imprinted on his shirt because he thought it made him look nerdy like Paul Newman, like Eddie did. He's just like, that'll make people want to play him, like maybe they can whoop his ass in pool if he's a nerd. But that's just what his logic was getting at. Which is pretty funny when you think about it.
People are like, oh yeah, we can take advantage of this guy.
He's got his name on his shirt. Yeah. But I thought those were both good. I remember you saying that you thought The Hustler was probably your favorite of the bunch.
Yeah. I mean, I'm also like a sucker for classic films, but I also just feel like that was like, I appreciated just like the acting in that movie, really. It was a lot of just the way old films are done, where it was kind of like leaned on upon the acting, but it was just really well done. It was just like the single shot in a room and a lot of dialogue. And like, the actors really carried and told the story.
Yeah, a lot of continuous dialogue too, because somebody fucks it up. Like
Yeah.
they were in a lot of ways just so much more professional.
I mean, yeah, they had to know scenes, in a row.
Now they do a ton of cuts. Quentin Tarantino hates it.
In front of green screens and all types of shit going on. They don't even know what the movie looks like until they're there watching it.
Pool Hall Junkies definitely was like the funniest out of the I mean, The Hustler wasn't really funny. Like there's a couple there's always a few moments in every movie, of course, that are a little bit of ironic comedy or sarcasm or black comedy, whatever. But like The Hustler was like that kind of sports drama tragedy almost, and not like a really, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't really even it definitely had a lot of just moments that were, you had a little bit of hope and things were, kind of snatched away. And obviously Burt was, playing his role. George C. Scott, man. Jackie Gleason, he was tremendous too, as Minnesota Fats. Yeah. Just Eddie, whenever he got drunk during that game, and he's just like, he was like well ahead at this point, but he just started getting hammered. He's just like, I'm the best you've ever seen, Fats. I'm the best there is. He's like, and even if you beat me, I'm still the best. He was just getting like cocky and just overly confident because he was
too drunk.
Started getting hammered. And then he just kept putting up the money. He's just like, the game is not over until Minnesota Fats says it's over. And remember, he just like sat there, like told his manager to go get him like a sandwich and more whiskey, and he's just. But after a while, he was just sitting there like just melted. They were playing for like over 24 hours in a row, and like Fats took off his jacket, went in the bathroom, kind of like washed his hands, powdered himself up, kind of fixed his hair, just like kind of came out a brand new feeling version of himself. Put back on his jacket, put back on the hat, got himself some breakfast, and he just cleaned himself up. And Eddie was just sat there like hammered in the chair.
Yeah.
And even his manager, Charlie, told him that. He's just like, you just sat there waiting to get beat. Which he pretty much did, And so, like, Fats, like, completely changed his frame of mind, and, like, Eddie went in, like, just half drunk still. Fully drunk. And no sleep, and Fats just fucking, since he's like, okay, well, if it's not over until, he was, like, well ahead. He had, like, 18 grand ahead of Fats. And he's just like, it's not over until he says it's over. I came after him, not the other way around. Like, so I've got to stick in it until he's like, I can't take it anymore, So pride in a large part, which always takes a lot of these people down in a lot of these movies, But I get it too, because it's like, if you came after him, you don't want to be like, all right, well, I'm quitting, and then just run away with the money. You want it to be like, all right, I get that too.
Yeah.
But, because Fats, like, completely changed his behavior, and he's just, like, he went out of the room, he got his mind clear, he got straightened up.
He came in ready to whoop him.
And then he just beat him and beat him, got his money back, and then took, like, some money, I think, from him, and then Charlie's just like, yeah, this is it. Well, and even before that, Fats is like, he's like, well, come on, Fats, he's like, I got $200 still here, and by then they were playing for, like, $1,000 a game. Or 2,000 or whatever, just until he was ahead, because he was just feeling himself. And then he still hadn't conceded the thing was over or anything. And by the time Fats was a little bit ahead, and he had gotten all of his money back, and he's just like, I got more money here. He's just fucked up, and he's just like, game's over, Eddie. And then so it's just like, that's it. He's like, I said I'm done now. Took all of his money back. Left him with nothing. But then he found out that Charlie held on to like a few grand or whatever. And he's like, that's my cut. And blah, blah, blah. Remember that? And then he's just like... And then that ending cold comment, though. But he felt betrayed, Eddie did, after like him not... Which, there's reasons to kind of think one way or the other. It's interesting. I guess you could debate that, whose side you would have been on in that. But the last thing he said to him was, he's just like, oh, he's like... Lay down and die by yourself. Don't take me with you. And Charlie's just like, damn. It's like, he just fucking got up and thanked Sarah for the drink. And then just fucking, took off. But, I mean, that he felt betrayed because he's like, but it's like what we just said. He just sat there waiting to get beat. Not to go too far in The Hustler, but yeah. It's, I don't know. That is a legendary movie.
It is. So, it's a good one.
But anyway, yeah, Pool Hall Junkies. We had a good time with it. It's still, in terms of filmmaking,
it was fun from what I remember.
It was, yeah. Yeah, it's a good one. Comedy.
Like I said though, I'll probably lean Dream Scenario because it's from what I remembered. It's like it's been a while. Like I remember Pool Hall Junkies being kind of goofy and some fun. And obviously circulating fully around pool. But I don't remember a lot of the full details about
and gambling and just the big games. I know it's been a minute.
Yeah.
Think the Color Money was better than Pool Junkies?
Probably.
Yeah. That's probably most people would say that.
Yeah.
A lot of pool people.
I imagine some people would probably be like. Would put Color of Money potentially above The Hustler.
Maybe
modern people, especially
some
because it's more modern. And everybody likes classic movies. So.
And The Hustler is just a great fucking story, though, man. Like it's like it's wholesome. Like it's not happy. I mean, it certainly doesn't even end that way either, or didn't really have the happiest tone throughout. But it was like incredible. Like, it's, the acting performances, like, just how it went from one thing to the next, and, like, you kind of saw Eddie's rise up and then, playing Fats at the end. Like, whenever he came back, man, and bet his last $3,000, he's like, what's the matter, Fats? He's like, that's my bankroll, my life savings, one game. He's like, let's start at $3,000 a game. That's all he had. He's like, but that's what I, he's like, if you knock me out, that's it. But that's how confident he was. So he's like, I'm out of here. If we, and Fats is like, let's do it. But then Eddie just beat him and beat him and beat him and beat him and beat him. And, it got just out of control. And Fats is just like, he finally said, like, I'm just trying to kind of reverberate it for you to remember. Because you'd seen it, like, the once. But he's like, he finally said it after Eddie just cold. Like, whenever he went in there, all that stuff with his girlfriend committing suicide and Bird, like, probably having slept with Bird and all that had happened. And it was probably, like, a couple weeks before, so he made his way over to Fats and challenged him again. And then, once he beat him badly, Fats he was just sitting in his chair kind of the same way, not drunk, but he's just like, that's it, Eddie. I can't beat you. Conceded it like way earlier this time because he probably was just, they went for hours and he probably just didn't even get a shot. So he's just like, there's no way I'm going to fucking make my money back from this.
Yeah.
But Eddie, man, he went in there cold after what he went through.
Yeah.
Especially when they went to the like Kentucky Derby and then he beat the hell out of the one dude in his basement, that weird pool game they were playing. Remember that? It wasn't even a standard like table.
Mm.
But yeah. And then Bert fucked him over, man.
Oh yeah, Bert, he was the villain. He was definitely the villain.
I remember in the episode that we like reviewed it, or no, the episode, one of the episodes after we'd watched it like last year, like, because I was like, Eddie couldn't he couldn't compromise who he was morally in order like to take Bert's deal, and you're like, well, yeah, I agree with him because fuck Bert. Why would she sell out to him? But no, like,
yeah,
it
Bert
sucks.
Was the worst.
It sucks though because it was like he had to literally give up. Like he just had hit his peak and beat the best guy in the country, and he had to basically retire because he couldn't go into any big pool halls anymore across the entire country. Because like Bert's like, I'll spread the word and this will be. But it's bullshit because it's like, no, that was my money that I fucking won with. He put his $3,000 in the line, not Bert's. That was your point. You're like, he fucking knew he didn't even put any money
cut
in.
of it. Yeah. What are you, the government?
Yeah,
Get
and
the
he's
fuck
like,
out of here,
and he's
dude.
like, he said that. He's like, how do you figure you stole my manager?
Yeah.
But he didn't want to look.
Been around
He didn't
at
want to
all.
look.
We had
bitched.
a major falling out, obviously.
Yeah. He didn't want to look bitched in front of everybody. So he's like, you're going to give me a cut of that?
Bert, it's like, no, you're in the wrong here, bro.
Yeah. But.
Alright, what do you got next?
Alright. Alrighty, next we've got Dream Scenario or $1 Million Baby.
Man, they're vastly different kinds of movies, that's for
That is for damn sure.
Man, it's tough because there's like parts of $1 Million Baby is a very endearing movie.
Mm-hmm.
But like certain ways it went and routes it took, I was like, are we just going this way to be purposefully daggering to the heart? Like, what are we doing? Like, I mean, it was an emotionally tugging, but in ways it was almost like, man, this is so unfortunate that it almost feels like emotionally tugging for the sense of being emotionally tugging, bro.
It was rough for sure. But like, yeah, it was tough. I mean, there's tragic stories out there for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It does
hit a point where it's like, the hospital stay was like, not only that, but, sometimes it just, they're in the hospital for a little while or whatever. But like that went on for a while after she got there, it felt like, and it was like, holy shit. And that's kind of where I get what you mean. But yeah, I mean, she had such a quick rise to kind of fame and like making money and living out her dream, and then like this happens, paralyzes her, and she's in the hospital for like the rest of her life.
Yeah.
But Clint Eastwood, like they all gave Hilary Swank, Morgan Freeman, like fucking great performances.
Yeah, it was well done
across the board. Even Jay Baruchel's character is like pretty funny too.
Anthony Mackie was just a son of a bitch.
Yeah, he was the cocky prick, like he was in the gym.
He beat the shit out of him.
And it's like, dude, if you were this good, it's kind of like what we were talking about earlier. It's like, if you're this good, wouldn't you like have done something by now, and like within the story?
You wouldn't be in this fucking gym.
Yeah,
just working out.
Yeah.
Beating up on this guy, on that fucking Jay's character.
Yeah. I don't fight women's. Yeah.
Man.
Tough one for you.
Yeah, that is kind of a tough one.
That's a newer school one.
I just don't think about like comparing those movies against each other. You know?
Nor will you with any of these other ones.
Man, I might just slightly give the edge to Dream Scenario. But that's pretty close. $1 Million Baby's a great movie, but like I would probably sit down and watch Dream Scenario more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'll give it the slight edge. But yeah, that's not taking anything away from $1 Million Baby. It does have, like, it is, like we said, it is kind of endearing and funny at times even, too.
Yeah.
Like, there is moments where it's, like, it is kind of fun, but there's a lot of, like, God damn, man, in that movie, too.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I think Dream Scenario is doing pretty good so far.
Yeah.
Alright, well, next up, we've got Dream Scenario, or another throwback. But you've seen it a few times by now. The Killing Joke, which I gave you whenever Kyle actually came on, the first round or era whenever we were doing the segment.
Yeah.
It was like right before we introduced him, whenever we would weirdly do it that way, but that was, that was the primitive stage we were in on the segment.
I feel like I'm just like a sucker for animated Batman because I grew, grew up on animated Batman. Oh yeah, it is.
The Killing Joke.
That's the thing too, and it's like a more modern take on animated Batman, kind of a more modern animated Batman story, I guess. And it's like a much more dark, kind of like, it feels like dark and gritty and real in certain ways.
Yeah.
So.
Well, dude, they give that whole...
Batman's like such an easy story to take in that direction because like Gotham and like that whole setting and everything just feels like that anyways. So if you like wanted to take it in the direction that's like more cerebral and dark and kind of like raw feeling, you can do that.
Yeah. They had him, and this was always the way the Killing Joke comic had went, and I hadn't read it personally, but I had read about it and seen like how it was always like a darker, sort of more violent and just despicable, sort of,
it's kind
I guess, version of the Joker in that story, because like it's insinuated they like give that Batgirl backstory and everything, and then going too far and then giving it up. And, like, he paralyzes her, and then whenever he unbuttons her shirt, it's, like, insinuated that he does some shit to her. And then he paralyzes her, which is sadistic enough. Like, he doesn't usually do that kind of shit to people. Like, just, right through the fucking spine with the gun. And then, he absolutely humiliates Jim Gordon and like strips him of all of his clothes and basically puts like one of those gimp fucking things on him. He doesn't. I don't think he really gagged him.
Park and shit.
Yeah, and like puts him in the rides. With
I
all
think
his
he like
freaks.
binds him and shit.
He just humiliates him of all his dignity right after he puts Jim Gordon's daughter through that, like Barbara through the fucking that, and it's like, oh man. It was sadistic, and you're like, damn. And, like, that's one of the whole inceptions for Batman being like, maybe I have to go all the way with this motherfucker this time, like in that story,
Yeah.
you know, because he usually doesn't.
And it kind of insinuates that it doesn't necessarily tell you, but like it insinuates at the end that he's like, he's laughing kind of because he's like, I've got you now. Like, you're not escaping this time. It's over for you.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, I'm gonna lean the Killing Joke, I think, on that one. Just like, it's hard for me with almost any Batman content because I just love most all of it. You know, like most all the animated series of it and Gotham and most of the movies. Like, Batman, the world of Batman's just been something that's been around in my life since I've been like little. It's hard to kind of top Batman.
Yeah, he's got a lot of great content.
I had Batman birthday parties when I was young as fuck, you know, like multiple. So
the Killing Joke.
Yeah.
All right, the competition, man, it's sweeping in, taking a couple. Next up, we got Dream Scenario or Villains.
That was a very. These two kind of feel like they can be compatibly compared because they're like, I don't know if Villains is A24 or not, but they're both just kind of like out there, almost feel at times thrillerish, horrorish, independent original stories, you know. A much different look at like Bill Skarsgård from a lot of the stuff you see him in is like in horror modernly.
I thought he was fucking, and Micah Monroe were like great.
Yeah, Micah Monroe, she was really good too.
Mm-hmm.
They felt like very endearing in that movie too. It was like they were kind of like the criminals, obviously, but like
they weren't that great at it. It was pretty funny.
And
it was working out for them.
They felt like a real and like raw couple. It felt like they were actually a modern day, like these people exist. Yeah. You know, like they're an actual couple that's just like, oh, this is easy.
They were kind of doing that like Bonnie and Clyde thing and just fucking like robbing like places and shit. But like they were still like amateur kind of esque villains. Or well, villains, but criminals, you know? And then they wind up at these people's houses that are actually fucking crazier than they are. And like that was a fun like concept too, because like they did good too. I forget those actors' names. I don't remember the guy who played the guy, but I know I'd seen him in some stuff.
Either. The guy and the girl both were, I think, somebody. But they were both good too.
Yeah, they both been definitely some stuff. But yeah, I had only watched it early on my list in horror season. It was like 6th, and I was like, man, in turn. So I was like, well, that'll be a good one for the movie swap.
Yeah, it was just like it's kind of like a unheard of modern kind of gem too.
Yeah,
Villains. It was just
I couldn't believe it was that good.
Easy watch,
and nobody like I hadn't even really heard much about it.
Yeah. It's like, but it's like 90 minutes or something, dude. It's not very long.
It's easily digestible.
Yeah.
It's like.
Yeah, I'll probably give the edge to Villains, I think.
All right. The comp is fighting its way back. Alrighty, yeah, Villains was, it was a fun one. Definitely have to watch that again.
Yeah.
Next up, we have got Dream Scenario, and we'll throw it back one more time here, at least on this list, to Mallrats. The very first movie I ever gave you. Part of the Askew universe, the second Kevin Smith edition. I think Ben Affleck's like first movie.
Yeah. I feel like we were kind of, like we were talking off air, they're not at all the same kind of movie, but like Return of the Jedi and Attack of the Clones, like I feel like I appreciate Mallrats a little more the older I get, because it's like, it's not one of my favorites necessarily of Kevin Smith's like Jay and Silent Bob movies, but it also is one of those. And there's a lot of stars before they were stars in there, and it's just like there's still a lot of fun to be had. It's a mall setting movie, which you don't really get a lot.
It was 90s. It was dope.
Yeah,
Stan Lee was in it.
Very its own thing.
Yeah.
So there's like a lot of fun to be had with Mallrats, really. Like I feel like I like it more now, probably.
I want to watch all those again.
Because when I originally watched through all of them, it was like, yeah, that's probably one of my lesser favorites. But now that it's like you can just take all of them as what they are, it's kind of just like there's still a lot of fun to be had with that one, and it's still very much like its own era and its own thing, but still within that universe and incorporating like Jay and Silent Bob into the story and shit. Yeah, I'd probably say Mallrats.
All right.
See, I feel like this list is getting backloaded. Now Dream Scenario is going to get its ass kicked, and it's going to look bad.
I don't know. We'll see. I think now it's what is the competition winning? I think so.
I don't know.
Yeah. 4-3. Not that the numbers, it's how you feel. It doesn't. The numbers don't have to matter. But next up, we got 3 more. We've got Dream Scenario or The Wrestler, which you had seen before, obviously. But it had been a long time. I'm sure you've got a more nuanced perspective than you did the first time you saw it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm older for sure. And, like, just watch and digest movies differently, you know? But yeah, it was cool because it was just, like we were kind of talking about the other day, it's kind of just like the encapsulation of the latter years of this independent wrestler's life. Like
after he had seen, like, the mountaintop.
Yeah. His unwillingness to really, like, let go of it because he kind of knew the dream was dead, but, like, he's like, this is all I really have, you know?
Yeah.
He still had a name, so...
You want some fucking cheese, lady?
He could still get booked. Yeah. He tried to live that life.
You're like, whenever you punch the grate or whatever, you're like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, ah! Ah!
Yeah, that wasn't smart. Just punched the shit out of it. Just gushed blood.
Fucking elbowed the Fruit Loops and the Tricks on the way out, man. Such a badass movie. Man.
That was like kind of a. It was like kind of a dirty, grimy tragedy.
That was that was another sports drama tragedy, I would say. Like in a lot of ways. I mean, it's identified as a drama, but it's got the sport like element to it.
His life was even, it was kind of dirty and grimy, and it was. Mm-hmm. He was in gymnasiums and locker rooms, and he was
tanning beds and
beating himself up horribly, and he was getting older, and he was taking steroids, and was going to strip clubs, and he just like didn't have anything to really grasp onto. You know what I mean? Like he had a bad relationship with his kid, and it was just like there was a lot within his life that just wasn't where you'd want to be at that stage in your life. You know what I mean? So it was like you felt for him in a lot of ways, but it was also like he knew it, that he chose this life, and this is he felt the highest point of what he wanted in that life too, but there was just nothing else in that life that gave him that feeling. So he was just riding the horse until he fucking fell off and died. Basically.
You said that the match with the Necro Butcher was like a standout part of the movie.
That
was like right before his heart attack.
Oh yeah, that was a pretty brutal one. Just the Necro Butcher in general, he's just a fucking insane son of a bitch, So it's like, it's kind of cool that he got like this death match wrestler from the indies got put in this movie, Yeah, I mean, I have to go with the wrestler, I feel like.
That's what I like to hear. Not to take away from Dream Scenario, but the wrestler, man, like in the impact of pro wrestling like I'm sure in our lives and a lot of our friends and a lot of other people that are big fans, is just insurmountable. Like it's fucking huge, you know.
Yeah.
And it's left its imprint. So that just feels right as like a long time, you know, fan of, and even fan almost at times I feel like falls short of what it is to us. You know what I'm saying? Of like the people that are is ingratiated into like I'm a wrestling person culture. You know what I mean? Like I'm not even just you know, because I feel like now I guess a lot of fans are like deeper in, but it's for a long time I was like I just feel like I'm more than, because some people it's more like 2-dimensional. I'm like, man, I just want to know absolutely everything with the business, with the insides and outs, and like the, you know what I'm saying, like everything is fascinating to me. And so then I always kind of felt like a little more, but that's kind of like terminology and shit. But anyway, yeah, I don't know where it would go, but that's just especially for sentimental reasons too, and like there's other ways you can tell the story, and like it doesn't always have to be a tragedy, like with wrestling, obviously, but that was such a hits close to home because you're like, damn, like you see it on such a realistic depicted level, and like he's struggling with money, with rent, and then he gets locked out of his place, and then he's just like, son of a bitch. And like the camera, one of the coolest things that I've always heard from like critics and other people too about it is like it really kind of puts you in his shoes because the camera like follows him around the whole time, and like just day to day, and like whenever he goes to the tanning bed, where he goes to the gym, even in the locker room where he slaps his ass and injects the, you know, the fucking steroid needle. But it's like it's, you know, just his like journey, and you see all the stuff that happens throughout it and stuff, and you know, it's brutal, but at the end of the day, he has wrestling, and that's the way it kind of ends.
Yeah.
And you don't know
what
happens.
He rode the horse till he fell off.
You don't know what happens. I mean, he comes off the top rope, but he was already having heart attack, you know, depictions earlier in the match. So it just kind of, he probably died coming off that top rope at the end. But
I mean, he knew his heart was fucked at that point.
He's like, take it home, Ram. We gave him enough. And he's like, no, I'm going to get up here and give him a fucking Ram jam if it's the last thing I do.
Just hits it. Then he just...
Yeah.
in the ring.
Oh, man. All right. Going the wrestler. All righty. Well, next up, we have gotten Dream Scenario or Fall, which was a really fuck you up movie.
Yeah.
Earlier in the list of whenever we were doing this, this whenever we revived it.
Yeah, it was a very one of a kind disaster movie, I'd say.
Yeah.
You know. Like it was like we were kind of talking about the other day. I'll give it points for sure. It's like a one location in a lot of ways. Like once they get up there, they're there for like the entirety of that movie on that little platform, and it's compelling. Bro, that scene. I don't want to even give it away, but the scene where she realizes, you know what I mean, with her, you're like, and you're just like, holy shit,
your heart
dude.
is beating. Like people always say, they're like, oh, this is an edge of the seat thriller. That movie is. I have never had a movie grasp me so fucking like long in the watching of it, in terms of, oh my god, like this is fucking, you can't even like sit back and like try to enjoy it because it's constantly, you're worried about some shit in it, even though it's like you get lost in the reality of like facing your fears and like the afraid of heights type of thing, and like, oh my god, it's like 2,000 feet up, and like the girls did a great job. Fucking Jeffrey Dean Morgan, like underlying plays like the father of like the girl that didn't want to initially go up the tower. But yeah, that was a sick and demented fucking twist. They like strung you along because like whenever she what was her name? But the blonde girl from, you know, we talked about from Halloween, like the 2018 one, the babysitter.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever she gets I'll remember it in a second. Like whenever you know, they're like, oh, she needs to hold on to the rope. She needs to hold on to the rope and shit, like as she's fucking going down, and then like her friend's afraid to look, and then she eventually looks, but then she's there, and then she actually had fallen down, like to where like that satellite was sitting. and
Yeah.
like died there. It's like, oh, because whenever you think that she didn't hold on to the rope, because she's like, ow, and like just that fall down, it's just, I was like, oh my god, because they show it for half a second after, that was such a, that like just sat with me for days. I'm like, talking about a movie sitting with you though, I'm like, I did not have a movie sit on like my mental psyche like that, maybe ever, like the way it did. Not even in terms of analyzing, oh, was that pretty good? Was that satisfactory for what I was looking for? Whatever. I mean, just like the sheer fear and the terror of like that situation and the feeling you get watching that, especially just as we were. I was like, oh my god, like that shit. I felt the same way the second time as the first. Like it didn't help any that I knew what happened. In a few things,
Yeah.
my memory was misconstrued on, but I overall it was still kind of the same. But I was no less on the edge of my seat. I was like, oh my god, not the kind of movie you can watch all the time, nor what I think it necessarily should be. But I don't think that's always the best judge either of how well I like a movie. I watch Phantom Menace more than I watch Revenge of the Sith, but guess what? It's more easily digestible because it doesn't have some of the emotionally tugging elements of just, you know what I mean, of like, oh my god, kind of thing. So I'm like, as far as its impact, like on me, I'm like, holy shit, like that was something else. It would be hard for me to kind of place that, but
I know that's
the experience watching it was unlike anything I've ever watched.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, there was a lot of enrapturing moments where it's just kind of like, it's kind of one of those, it pulls you in and then you're there once you're in kind of movies.
Really?
It's hard to, like you were saying, kind of place it, but I think I'm going to give the edge to Fall just because of the experience of watching it. You know what I mean? Kind of what it was and what it was like. But I mean, yeah, it isn't one that, like, it is one that's worth showing. Like, it'd probably be one to even watch with Haley at some point and stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, it's one worth showing people and, like, having people see. But it's not one that you're always going to want to watch. It's not always, like, the mood or the vibe or something like. But it is its own kind of movie, for sure. What's next? What do I got here? I got one more?
You got one more. All right, yeah, let's do it. All right, next up is Dream Scenario or Religulous, which is definitely a different kind of comparison.
It's very different.
Movie you had seen before, but I figured it was worth throwing up on there because it had been quite a number of years, and obviously, like, especially not only with the stuff going on in the world like today, but it was worth kind of going back and like pondering a lot of the big questions and seeing some of the other historical things, in the past, and a lot of the stuff that was brought up about like the story of Jesus and a lot of the other figures throughout time that people are like, oh, they've got this birthday and this, and like kind of pondering all those big questions. Going around the world interviewing people.
It was I mean, shit, that was what, mid-2000s at this point?
08.
Okay.
It came out.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that one for sure.
Yeah.
I remember it when it came out, even because, like, Devin was into it and stuff. And I watched it at some point then. And we watched it. And then, we watched it for the list. Yeah, that's like a different kind of movie because it was within the 2000s. Like, let's make a documentary over something kind of era. Some of those were better than others, but that was probably one of the better ones.
I thought that was probably one of the best ones. I
might lean Dream Scenario just because it's like, okay, it's just more like a relaxing,
Yeah.
like
Kind of.
movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's more of a movie, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like if I'm gonna sit down and watch a film, I'll probably watch not like I love documentaries, don't get me wrong, but like
that kind of doc would be hard to fucking even make today because of all the stuff and the tensions of other places, you know?
Oh yeah, it would be. Yeah, I mean that's tough too because I don't even ever think about comparing a movie like Religulous
because, like,
even against other movies. Religulous, it's not kind of the same thing.
Yeah, is respected to be like, oh yeah, that's a film. It's still, because it's a doc, still is not like the same.
Yeah.
Kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's still hard to. But I'm like, if we're gonna do this, it's got to be thrown in here somewhere. So I'm like, I might as well just top it off with it. So you're going dream scenario though?
Yeah, I'll toss in another bone there.
Oh man. So I do think dream scenario got beat 6-4 out of favor. Or well, yeah, 4-6. But see, that was pretty good split because I was like, what'll be a good one to pick?
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure where I was gonna go. I thought about, for a second, I thought about villains or like Fall, just because it could be definitely interesting to see where they land, you know. But then I was like, no, like dream scenario would be one that, and honestly, it played right into that because that was a pretty even split.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what I got. We'll do my best to remember some of the things in these movies.
All right. Well, one of your main here is going to be one that you watched earlier. I gave you early, but you've seen a few times. So your main's going to be The Witch.
All right.
Different kind of movie. It's like a horror movie, but it's also it's an old kind of like it's a Robert Eggers movie. What do you expect? But it's like an old New England folk tale.
Yeah. I know it's one of your faves.
I mean, I do like The Witch, but like honestly, dude, Eggers just makes good movies. Like I don't really think he's made a bad one per se yet. Like, this past December, I finally freaking got to Nosferatu. Fucking dope. I love Nosferatu.
It was great.
That's what I mean, though. I'm just like, he just makes his own kind of movie.
I still need to watch that Frankenstein movie that was on Netflix.
Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, it looks sick.
It's good. It's good too. The sets are awesome in that movie. Like,
I love seeing it as like a film and not like some bullshit like goofy thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just pretty cool because that should exist. Like they should all kind of exist and people make their own interpretations. But I want to see something like portrayed as it's really definitely nice.
Its own kind of Frankenstein too. Like it's different. I mean, it tells the same general story, but there's a lot of different kinds of shit from the classic Frankenstein story. All right, but The Witch will be your main. First up is another old one, going back in time. Wouldn't think to compare these, but The Witch or Friday.
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah, that was the very first movie you gave me. Whenever I gave you Mallrats. Ice Cube. And Chris Tucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just a legendary one there. I gotta rewatch that series and I've never seen the sequels. Yeah, I mean, I've probably seen The Witch even more than Friday.
Yeah.
Because I think I've only seen Friday like 2 times. Oh yeah, that's tough. That's a rough one, man.
Yeah, Friday's because it's such just a classic.
I know, yeah. Probably because of, maybe that, and you can kind of throw it on. Obviously, along with the cultural impact. I'd probably go Friday maybe by a little bit.
All
But
right,
The Witch will
Friday.
probably end up going over several of these anyway.
Taking the edge. The Witch. Getting slapped around.
Yeah.
One to none. First one. Next up, this is kind of more compatible.
Yeah.
We got The Witch, or we got Heretic.
Yeah, that was my first time viewing that one. What's her name?
Sophie Thatcher.
Yeah, that's her name. Sophie Thatcher. Yeah, I thought that was pretty damn good. Heretic, like, I think I remember seeing it advertised, but I didn't like look heavily into it. I didn't even know at first that was Natalie from Yellow Jackets, which, you know, hopefully that show comes back sooner than later. My sister, I told her whenever she had like a train ride up to Chicago, she's like, "What's a good show or something to watch?" We'll be on the train for 5 or however many hours, and I was like, "You should watch this," because it was right in that time that I was trying to get caught up and everything too. And then whenever I went with her and we went to like Felix's like a week or two ago, I was like, "Did you ever watch any more of that than just the train ride?" She's like, "Oh yeah." She's like, "I'm all caught up on it." I'm like, "Oh shit." So she actually did really like it. And I mean, she'll get into different stuff too, but I never know exactly what she's watching other than some of the classic stuff. And she's watched the sitcoms and whatnot. But I didn't know. But I was like, "Yeah, maybe she'll like this." And apparently she did. I mean, if she went all the way through season 3.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, anyway, no, Heretic was yeah, oh man, that's tough too.
Hugh Grant. He's like such a fucking creepy weirdo in that movie, but he also gives like some great monologues in that movie as well.
He did. No, that was a good one. I liked watching that. Heretic and The Witch. I don't think I've watched The Witch in a couple of years either. 2 or 3. But I'd seen it probably like several in a row before that. The Witch, I know you like that one.
Yeah.
I don't know where it ranks for you, but
honestly, it's tough, dude, because I was like thinking about that. I'm like, because I liked Nosferatu a whole lot.
Yeah.
I liked The Northman a whole lot. And I liked The Witch a lot. So it's just like, those 3 I hold all in pretty high regard. And it's not even that I don't like The Lighthouse. The Lighthouse was just fucking out there. In a lot of ways. It's the least rewatchable of his 4 for me.
Really?
Yeah. Probably easily.
The Lighthouse. It was pretty damn wild. That's a tough one. That is a tough one. I don't know. I enjoyed like the mind game of it and like a lot of the stuff like in Heretic, you know. I mean, I probably will watch that again at some point.
Yeah.
Don't know if it'll be soon or if it'll be more like a long horror season time.
It was like a lot. Like his house was like set up literally like a maze and shit.
Yeah. I mean, definitely points for, we talk about points and points for like originality. Like there were elements of that I was like, oh shit, like I definitely didn't see coming. I would maybe give it to Heretic by a little bit.
Dang. Heretic. Getting the edge.
Yeah.
Alright. Next up, we got The Witch, or we got Apocalypto. Vastly different again, but
yeah, well they were
very original movies.
Definitely both from like a long time ago, that's for sure.
Yeah.
When was fucking The Witch set?
1600s, I think.
Yeah, and then that would have been set even earlier, right?
Oh yeah. The
like
Mayans,
1100
like with
something?
the Spanish conquistadors landing. I don't even know.
Apocalypto was definitely left a mark on me too after I watched it. I was like, damn, that stuff was crazy.
Yeah, it was like all the Mayan stuff.
Yeah. Mel Gibson directed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really good at like finding those kind of movies and making like he's made some wild shit like directing wise.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites of his in a way.
No,
Just
I
'cause
was.
It is like so original. It's like you don't see movies that are over like that in depth of the Mayan culture very often, and you definitely don't see them and spoken in fucking Yucatan.
Nope.
In the movie. Like you did the actual Mayan language and shit.
That, and especially like set in that period of time, and like they didn't like skimp on anything. Like everything was very purposefully, no, it's gonna look like it's set in this fucking time. Like it's not gonna be, oh, we're gonna barely modify the look of the people and what they, the stuff, like the action was nuts too, like the beheadings and everything.
Oh yeah, it was violent as hell.
It was.
That movie was too.
It was. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go with that one, Apocalypto. Also, man, don't worry, the witch will get some victories here.
We'll see.
I guess the first time I watched it was whenever you introduced it in the segment. Then, huh? Damn.
Yeah, probably.
Wow.
All right.
Hey, you guys gave the Shredder an ass whooping. I won't forgive that. You know what's funny though? No, I mean I made a really hard list, but I've been rewatching at least while my Paramount subscription's still going. I've been rewatching the 2003 like Ninja Turtles show. My favorite like depiction of them personally.
Yeah.
I mean a close second, if not like tied, would be the 1990 movie. But it's one of those two pieces of content for sure. But like it's so dope, even into like season 2, and then now it's in like 3. And so I've been rewatching that. Watched the tournament episodes again. That was sick. Not to go on too much of
The
a
tournament episodes.
Oh yeah, where they like go to like the trans-dimensional universe or whatever the fuck it is, and like fight in this like tournament.
Just like fuck yeah, dude, this is taking me.
Mikey wins the fucking tournament actually.
Well, that probably pissed Raph off.
Oh, it did, because he beat Raph in one of the rounds. Donnie, which is bullshit, he got eliminated like early. Leo, I think, won a round, but then he got shot with like a poison dart. So then they fucking took him out. So it was like Mikey's to win once he beat Raph. And he ended up beating this big ass like purple dude, I think. But yeah. Anyway. What were we talking about? Apocalypto. No, Apocalypto made me sick. I did really. I'm glad you put that on this list because it was probably it would have taken me a little bit to find, in terms of even looking for like movies from that era. I still haven't watched Braveheart. I mean, like I was.
You haven't seen it?
No.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna watch it at some
for some
point.
reason, I thought you watched
But-
that one.
No, I was going to, and I was watching some of the other ones during that like time.
Yeah, man, I even have it. We
I
should
know.
watch it sometime. Or I should put it on a list. But again, it's like fucking.
Well,
3
and I could
hours
always
and
just
shit.
throw it on because it's on something, I'm sure. But it's
Yeah.
like, but I think the other reason I have it is because it's long, and I'm like, my first time, I want to be able to digest it if I can, all as one movie,
Yeah.
Aside from like piss and snack breaks. But, so yeah. No, Apocalypto was sick, so I'm gonna give the edge to that one.
All right.
Oh yeah, that's how we get on that, because you guys took a dump on Shredder. That was fucked up.
And now you're dumping on the witch. It's fucked up too. Next up,
That's fucked up too.
We
Like
got-
you would have disagreed with some of these.
I mean, yeah, I probably would have took the witch over heretic. Next,
That was
up-
probably the closest one, though, to be honest, for me. I was like,
and maybe Friday. It's just hard to say because they're vastly different movies.
they are.
Is The Witch or The Ballad of Buster Scruggs? I know you said you didn't remember that one that much.
not
but
super well.
It's like a Western anthology. The Coen brothers.
Yeah.
did it. Liam Neeson's got a short in there. James Franco's got a short in there.
Okay. Yeah, it's loosely, vaguely coming back to me, but I knew that was going to be one that I would maybe have an issue with, in terms of memory and detail.
I really like that one. I just like it's a good, funny, and fun kind of like modern Western because there's like it's an anthology, so certain stories are like more dramatic and emotional. Certain stories are like just for fun. So it's like it's kind of like a tone shift
Yeah.
within every story, but they're all set within like the Old West.
Might be worth reviewing at some point. That's what's exciting about now is like, man, obviously we love the holidays, but it's so refreshing to be like, of course sports are going on, but there's less and less days for the NFL as we currently sit. Wrestling coming up, but once again, it's not like there's a show every day. So it's like with all this free time in terms of watching, if you want to watch new shows and movies and stuff too, it's so fun to just be like, all right, I'm going to knock this, and this out. Like watch a ton of new shit you've never seen. Sometimes it's interesting to me to be like, all right, I'm going to rewatch this. I haven't seen this in a while. But it's also just a wide open time to just view a ton of things for the first time. It's so nice. Last year I was like just heavy hitting like sports documentaries.
Yeah, that's why it's fun.
January and
is a
February.
lot of fun because it just feels like the slate's entirely open to watch whatever.
The first most of the year, until we get to the later parts.
Yeah.
But what was the next one that we were on?
Scruggs.
I probably have to give that one to The Witch. I've seen it more, and I'm just more familiar with it, and I do enjoy it, regardless of what the score is right now. But it'll get some Vicks. You'll see, because
like mainly all of the ones on here, anyways, are ones that I liked or liked enough at least to be like, hey, you should watch this. Check this out.
Well, see, that's what makes it good too, is because it's the movies that we recommended each other. It's not like no thought or just, is going to be put into it. Like, to some extent, it's going to be worth a debate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All right, so next up, we got...
It's so funny, though, that some of these are inside of, 6 months ago, and the other ones are, outside of 6 years ago. Sorry.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy to think about, though.
Oh, yeah.
Next up, we got The Witch, or we got Snatch.
Yeah, that one had a lot of funny dialogue in it, though. I remember what it was, but I was like, okay, I need some of the stuff to come back to me, too.
Dude, Brad Pitt.
That was a fast-moving movie, too.
A kudos to Brad Pitt, though, for that. Just because he, had a crazy accent in that movie and shit.
Oh, yeah.
His character. Yeah, Jason Statham was pretty hilarious in it.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say more. It
was like the diamond heist and illegal boxing movie, basically. And they were those stories intertwined within each other because it was like 4 different people's stories that all ended up interjecting with one another somehow near the end of it.
I just remember his voice, and then he'd get in the ring, and then he'd whoop some ass.
That fucking line too is the getaway driver is just that fat dude, those incompetent bank robbers who are just horrible at it. That guy's squeezing out it, taking forever to wiggle out of the car, and he's like, "Hey, I thought you said he was a fucking getaway driver. What the fuck is this guy getting away from?"
And then he's talking about the beaches. We got beaches here. And he's like, well, who the fuck wants to go to them?
Who the fuck wants to see him?
Yeah.
Very different movies too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I may enjoy Snatch a little more too if I saw it again, but I think I'm gonna edge it out with The Witch on this one too.
All right. The Witch is climbing back up in there. Next up, we got The Witch, or we got Sling Blade.
Oh man, just took it over to the old Pops last week, man. We watched it.
Yeah, I knew that one had some impact on you for sure.
Yeah, we talked about it and kept quoting it, and I would just bring things up, and I was like, oh man, it just stuck in my mind for a little while after, and I think a good part of that is like Billy Bob Thornton's ability to just become Carl Childers and just transform himself into that character instead of Billy Bob, and like, because you'd see even the press that he did from it, it's just, oh, it's Billy Bob, but like changing his face, like getting that haircut, changing his like his mannerisms and his just behavior and his clothing, just everything. It was like you really saw Carl in that role. Like you did not see Billy Bob Thornton.
Embodied him, yeah.
And it had so many like memorable lines, and kind of like, we bring up the whole endearing thing, and that's kind of how he felt, even though you saw the situation. And even Linda, like through parts of that, whenever he was telling the story about like his like baby brother or whatever, and he just basically got thrown out.
Yeah.
And he was like, she was like, oh, even that moment when he went in deep, and he was telling about like the stuff he endured.
His childhood and everything he just lived a horrible life. Like he was better off in the psych ward than he was at home
100%.
With his parents.
100%. And that had such a great and beautiful like payoff after he like was just like, well, Frank, like the guy the boy he befriended, and Linda, actually his mom in the movie, he's like, well, to get him kind of away from this guy, like, he's just like, I'm gonna make sure everything's put into place, they're out of the house, this is all good, and I'm gonna kill this motherfucker, basically, like, just kind of establish, like, and like, for the fact that he put that plan together and realized, like, that was the situation.
Yeah, Doyle, he was a real piece of garbage.
Oh, yeah. Let's bring the boys over. It's like, get my guitar out. It's just like, and they were in the middle of eating, and she's like, right now?
Making everybody do everything
right now.
For him.
Yeah. It's just like, why? We're fucking in the middle of eating corn and shit. What the fuck
it's
are you
like,
talking
Carl, Frank, go out and get the bucket filled with ice. It's like,
yeah.
Why do we all gotta do all this shit? You're having people over, you fucking do it.
I know. That was annoying, man. Good lord, though.
He's making everybody stay up late to deal with his bullshit because he just wanted to get drunk. And, like, that wasn't even the worst of it. Then he just treated everybody like shit. Even his own friends. Like, he's like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that was whenever he started going off drunk like a fucking idiot.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That movie felt just like emotional too, because it felt real. Like, this is like, oh, this is just... It felt like this could be just a real group of people, like just
it felt
a
gritty.
Lower to middle class, like a kind of lower class family in just a rural area in Arkansas. It's like, this is just their situation, you know.
100%. Sling Blade, though, for sure.
Going Sling Blade.
I thought that movie was. I mean, it was. I don't know. It was great, though. I don't know how to define sort of the impact, because it did sit with me, and I was kind of already watching like other Billy Bob stuff that he had done, stuff I hadn't seen, stuff I had seen. Then I watched like the Bad Santas over Christmas time, Landman, which just finished the second season, and he's obviously great in that. So been on like definitely a kick of watching a lot of his shit the past like month or two. So yeah, Sling Blade on that one.
Sling Blade for the win. Alright, next up we got The Witch, or we got Oculus. It was a real mindfuck of a movie. It was one of those, like, that was one of those movies where, like, it made me feel like I was fucking tripping or something when I was watching it. Because it was just, like, everything, it was tense and weird.
Yeah.
And you didn't know what was real and what wasn't, really.
Yeah, it was kind of a mindfucker. The mirror.
Yeah, it was like that mirror just fucked with them. Like, all the just different, like, with the different phone calls they were having, they weren't really having, maybe, and then, like, she stabbed her ex-husband, or she stabbed her husband, but she didn't stab her husband, and then it was, like, same thing with the apple, like, they thought they were going to conquer it, like, we'll just set an alarm every hour, we'll make sure to eat, we'll have plenty of water, all this different shit, but it was, like, it still, it didn't matter, because it was, like, no matter how long you were around the fucking thing, it wouldn't let you destroy it. And the more you tried to destroy it, the harder it fucked with your minds because it knew you were trying to destroy it. There's just some of the, like when she bit into the light bulb, thinking it was the apple, and then it was like the apple. That scene was fucked up.
Yeah.
And that scene whenever they flash back to whenever they're kids, and the dad when he was like losing his fucking mind, and he's like in the office, and the boy like opens the door because he's like, Dad? He like opens the door to like see his dad, and like he's just like, leave me alone, I'm working. And he like opens the door a little more, and he's just like sitting at his desk, and that like fucking creepy woman from the mirror's just like over his shoulder, like whispering into his ear and shit. She like sees her for the first time. Like that scene fucking gave me chills. The first time I saw it, I was like, holy fuck, dude. But though, honestly, a lot of the scenes flashing back to their childhood were some of the creepiest shit. Like the mom, how it fucked with the mom when she was just like standing there looking in it, like just holding the vacuum cleaner. When she like went in that room to clean, she was just standing there, and it like really fucked her up.
Oculus. Yeah, surprisingly, until that, I had never seen that before.
Mike Flanagan, one of his earlier movies. He's done a lot of horror shit, like in the past decade plus. Like he did Dr. Sleep, he did Oculus, he did Haunting a Hill House, Midnight Mass, Fall of the House of Usher. He's doing Clayface. It was like his story. I think he like came to, because James Gunn's taking over the DC universe, so he's like just opening it up to whatever DC involved. Like if it's an interesting story and it sounds like it'll be good, it's like, oh fuck yeah, let's do it. Like Clayface isn't really like one of the more known characters, but they're like, no, let's do it.
That's pretty cool though. Wait, he's the one doing that?
Yeah, so it's probably gonna have like a horror edge.
Oh yeah, well, I mean it's releasing in October too.
Yeah.
So. Oh, that is tough, man. In part, it could be because of the familiarity too, but I might have to lean The Witch on that one.
The Witch.
I've only seen Oculus the once too.
Yeah, that'd be a tough one for me.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we got The Witch, where we got Leatherheads.
Oh yeah. The old leather helmets.
Dude, I love that movie. It's just
it's great.
Because there's no movies that like go over the Leatherhead era of football really like that one. Like that's fully what that movie's about.
Yep.
And like the league getting actually commissioned shortly after that period.
Yeah, that was kind of surprising that Clooney was in that.
It was like his story. He directed it and everything too. He just kind of wanted to bring that one to life.
Yeah, I definitely appreciated that there was like a movie depicting that sort of time in like football history,
Yeah.
Because
it had like more of a comedic edge to it for sure, but it was
yeah.
It was fun. A lot of fun.
Because everything had to do with like everything's either the some of the biopics and some of the ones that are just more dramatic and telling of somebody's story, but you really don't get much from that era. Like certainly before the NFL was actually like established.
Yeah.
Damn, that's tough.
And then like George Clooney was good in it. John Krasinski was good in it. And Renee Zellweger was good in it. Like they all like played their roles very well.
I might give it to Leatherheads by a little bit.
It was very 1920s and very like just it was
post World War One.
They were like all World War One vets and shit
with the little old hats and
the like big band swing music, and the newspaper was like the thing. Like remember they were gonna leak his story that he wasn't a real war hero and stuff. The newspaper and
Leatherheads.
So Leatherheads.
No, that was fun. I hadn't really seen anything like that on screen before. With that like era, that was pretty cool. I like whenever things have a good representation of like the era and like it's actually true to feeling believable, you know?
Yeah.
What?
So Leatherheads gets the win on that one. Next up, we got The Witch, or we got When Evil Lurks.
Ooh. Yeah, that was some mind fuckery too, man.
I mean, that was just dark. That was like kind of a... It was like
not,
a demonic,
not in the same way.
Demonic possession film, but like a totally different kind of demonic possession film.
It wasn't like mindfuck as in like, oh, it's a twist or whatever. It was more, it was dark.
It's like a foreign film and it was like set in more of like a farming town and shit too. And like, kind of like, it almost felt not as first world, you know? Like where this was happening at.
It felt more like, because of the foreign like aspect of it too, it kind of felt like in some parts that you feel, you're like, oh my god, you know, it kind of reminded me of watching like Midsummer or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Ow.
Yeah, that like there were certainly some places that they went within When Evil Lurks and they probably couldn't do if it was an American film. Like it was an Argentinian film, so they were able to like do some wild stuff. And that was part of it too. Like the craziest scene, I think, was probably whenever like that one guy was like, "This sheep fucking has it."
Yeah.
Where's the goat?
Yeah.
It was like, he's got this shit. Because he could tell because he shot the shotgun and like all of them ran away besides this one that was just staring him down. And the wife was like begging him. She's like, it'll just pass on. Like, you're just going to pass it. And he like shot it in the head and then she just axes him right in the neck and then axes her own face till she dies.
That was the most mindfuck. I don't know. I was like, oh my god. I'm gonna have to give the edge to When Evil Lurks on that one too. I was kind of thinking about that. I was like,
I was gonna say, I don't know if I think it's actually a better film than The Witch by any means, but it is like it's more of a shocking film in a lot of ways.
I know The Witch could have more rewatchability for me, but
I mean, it's your own opinion.
No, I know.
Too, so.
I know. I don't know. Yeah, that is a good question. Like the better film in terms of, but yeah, I mean, profound impact upon first viewing. When Evil Lurks had a more profound impact, you know, but it doesn't necessarily mean it was a better movie.
Yeah.
But because I have only viewed it one time, I think I am gonna lean in favor of When Evil Lurks.
All right.
But yeah.
And last but not least is The Witch or Talladega Nights.
Oh,
nothing
boy.
alike.
Yeah. No. Ricky Bobby. Another ballad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one that for a long time I never watched. And then we brought that one and like The Wrestler back on the same segment.
Yep.
It's like, all right, yeah, that was fun. I really enjoyed it. I think like it was actually like a lot more happened in that story than I thought. Like I didn't think it was as long as it was either.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, oh damn, like there's so many more layers to it than I thought there was. Is what I would say too. Maybe I missed out on. I mean, I finally watched it anyway. But I was like, the era where everybody was going apeshit about it was definitely like an extended number of years though. Because like only Step Brothers came out like 2 years later, and I'm sure I remember us talking about it. They were probably looking at like their chemistry and that, and they're like, oh, let's build a story you know, around this, you guys being brothers or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it was definitely a very quoted and
Yeah.
easily quotable movie. It was just, it encapsulated a certain thing, you know, a certain kind of comedy over a certain thing. Like, it was in ways an easy pull, but it did it very well. So
yeah, Farrell, man, I think it's not that he always has hit it out of the park, but a lot of his movies are, like, even to this day, I think they're pretty great. Like, pretty
yeah,
great
he's
comedy.
definitely got a lot of hits.
Yeah. Yeah, that one and Step Brothers, like, I'll give them both their due for being funny. I never saw that Holmes and Watson movie, but it got rated horribly.
Oh yeah,
It got like a fucking 4% on Rotten Tomatoes or something. But yeah, the other two were quality. Were funny. The Will Ferrell like heyday.
Yeah.
Where he was in so many comedies every year. Well, yeah, that's a weird comparison too.
Yeah, very, very different.
I think
it's very hard to compare those movies, but
it is. You know, because it's kind of stuck between being like, oh man, The Witch, it was a really good and well done film in terms of filmmaking, and then
one-off colonial horror story.
And then you look at Talladega Nights, and it's like, oh, this is an easily digestible, funny comedy that you can throw on a lot of the time if you wanted to. You know what I mean? Even in the background or whatever. So it's like those are two different kind of ways of watching as well.
Yeah, it's a different moods and different kind of film. Like, you're not gonna ever throw on one if you're in the mood for the other, you know?
Yeah. I want something funny. Never mind. I'll throw on The Witch.
They're not really comparable in, like, any ways.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Because The Witch is even very original for being a horror film.
No, it is. And it looks like it's taking an old slapping. Ricky Bobby. What do I want to go with here? Cap it off. I would say...
It is a tough comparison.
I think, not that I wouldn't watch Talladega Nights again, because I probably will, but I think I'm going to lean in favor of The Witch for that one. Because I have seen it more, and I'm like, it's, you know. But I do acknowledge, and I did like Talladega Nights. I'm sure I will watch it again. It only took me, 20 years to watch it the first time. But, yeah, see, I don't know. I have no idea how to watch. Because I'm like, in terms of watching like it as a film, but I'm like, the other way is you can just put on a lot of those comedies, especially from the 2000s, and just have a blast, you know?
Yeah.
They're always a good time.
Alright, so you're going with The Witch.
Yep.
So that gives the final tally 4-6 out of favor of The Witch.
That one is sorry. I was gonna say that one was close in terms of which one I would have taken, but I think either way, like The Witch would have been out of favor.
Yeah.
But man, I don't know. There's been some good ones. Same as Dream Scenario was out of favor too. But we've given each other some pretty interesting movies. Some pretty good ones.
Yeah, different ones across the board for sure.
All right, well, do you want to take a break and then come back into the movie reviews?
Yeah,
and then some good, the bad, and the shits?
Sounds good.
Well, let's do that, and we will be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back from our break. It is now time for the movie review segment. Basically, the segment from last segment that we formulated the entire thing around.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice to do that though, because then we can bring back all these movies that we watched. Some of them from many years ago, some of them from just the last several months.
Yeah.
And either way, it's nice to know that like one of our original ideas for like the conceptualization of the podcast is like revived and like in a healthy place again. Not that you can't review movies on like your blog, or like we can't talk about movies that we just saw together or go see them. But it's like it's kind of nice to be like, all right, that was part of like the early identity of the cast, and to like kind of bring it back has been cool, because then it kind of gives a reason too. It's like not that we wouldn't watch movies or whatever anywhere, recommend stuff, but it kind of gives a built-in reason on like especially the solos to be like, here's a movie you can watch, here's a way to get you to watch it and make it like a sort of a thing, you know what I mean? So it is kind of nice, but it's like it's a fun way to, what we were talking about like off air even, like to like repackage that and just be like, you know, bring them all into relevancy again to see how you would judge them through what you can remember.
I know, yeah, it's
with the ones that stuck out.
It's kind of funny to look back, especially like we were talking about how long the timeline is. It's like a couple months to like potentially almost 6 years for some of them.
What do you, I mean, like aside from even Religulous and The Wrestler, because you had seen those before, like what are some of the top ones do you feel like you got enjoyment out of the other ones that I gave you?
Man, that's tough.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I guess
I was gonna say.
I mean, like, I don't even fully know how I would be prepared to answer the same question if you asked me, but I've got, I guess, a few that I did really like. I mean, they're like I liked most all of them, you know. But it's like in terms of even trying to do any type of ranking or like even select some, it's, you know, it's not easy.
No, yeah, like Air, I really did enjoy Air quite a bit. I mean, The Killing Joke, I don't know if that was the first time I saw it, was when we did it on here.
Maybe because you still hadn't watched it, and I couldn't believe maybe at that point you had, because I think I gave you the DVD like a year and a half before that, or more. And and then I think we got to it. But then I know we watched it several times during the season since then. So you're familiar with the story.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy, because like it's a vile Batman story too, with the Joker as the villain, that you just don't see him like. He's done some dastardly shit, obviously, throughout the whole series and show. But like, for it to be that kind of maniacal and him to show up and just fucking be, you know, kind of taking livelihoods, and I mean, he just, like we were talking about earlier, Jim Gordon, like he just absolutely humiliated him, like the police chief, you know, the fucking guy in charge of all of it.
Yeah, that was a pretty dark and twisted tale. Like I said though, man, it's Gotham. It's like it's dark and dingy. Yeah. Just it feels like it's just asking for
it's dark.
A dark noir story like that. Yeah. So.
Yeah, The Killing Joke. Yeah, you're saying Air and.
Yeah, I like those ones a lot. Fall had an impression on me, obviously. I don't know if it would be like a favorite or not, but I do vividly remember it, and it like left an impression on me, so I guess that's something.
It was many months after I first saw it before I rewatched it and introduced it on the segment, like for you to watch, because I like needed it to sit with me for a bit before like watching it a second time. Yeah. But it was definitely, you're not gonna forget that. But yeah, is there, like we were talking about earlier too, Sling Blade, like that was one of them that, especially in recent history, that I was like, I couldn't stop. Like I was like, okay, I can't wait for this movie to get here because I really want to rewatch this again. And since it wasn't on any, of course you can find anything for anything nowadays. And I'm like, the one movie that I want to watch, and like I said, I just
very few that are like that now too.
I'm like the one that I really want to watch. I'm like, of course it's the hardest to like access, and like and we talked about before, like me and you watched yours, but I was like, no man, I'm like, I need mine to get here, and I just want to like have it, and I wanted to show them it too because they had both seen a long time ago, but it was awesome, like the experience again to like, you know, kind of watch it again. And you know, both times, like maybe even more so now because I sort of knew what to expect while sympathizing with Carl in like a lot of those ways, and you know, more like feeling what he was feeling, and you're like, damn, like, so as you kind of watch it play out, like it's like in the sense that I can kind of watch it and not be so suspect of, not that I was of him the first time, but now you're kind of like, wow, like seeing the other side of it, and you're like, he did endure a lot of shit, like even growing up, and then he just kind of, you know,
nobody really ever taught him anything about anything.
He has nothing but like good intentions towards everyone. Like if you really look at how, you know what I mean. And whenever that went on too, he thought that his mom was being like assaulted and shit too, and it's just like, and then she's like, oh, it's not a bit, you know, and then he hit her in that. It's just like that shit's, you know what, my grandpa. So I don't know if you remember this from his episodes or not, but one of his friends growing up, like, remember he told us a story about them hanging out in like Forest Park or around there, you know, whatever, or Tower Grove-ish area, somewhere like around that park, like way back when, and the guy, like, I guess his name was like Dennis Irby or something like that. And so my grandpa was only like 12 or something, you know, 12 or 13 maybe, and he was a couple years older than that. And he like went home. He told us on the podcast, I think maybe the first episode, where he's like a teenager and stuff. And he said he like went home later that night, and his dad was like hitting his mom or doing whatever, and so he killed his dad. And then like in the heat of the moment, I don't know if it was a similar situation, like if she was like, oh, you know, like don't, like trying to stop it or trying to hit him or do something like for doing that to the dad, even though it was to protect her. And then like he ended up killing his mom too, and he did later say he regretted that. Like this is what my grandpa told us on the pod, which I'd heard him talk about here briefly and stuff. And then what happened was he got out after, you know, years, because it was the heat of the moment. He was like 15. He couldn't be, you know, was like, he got kind of the benefit of the doubt because it was like, he explained what happened, and, you know, he felt bad about his mom, but his dad, he said, like, he was, you know, bad to both of them and stuff, and that he thought he deserved it. And so, you know, he went away for prison for however long he did, 25 years. And that's what's in, I'm like, that's kind of, I know Carl went to, like, the psychiatric, like, that place. And my grandpa made this parallel the other night. I'm like, oh, that's true, though. I'm like, that's kind of wild. Because, I mean, it's different, but it's also, whenever that guy got released, Dennis, he, I think it was somebody in his family's, maybe his daughter's boyfriend or somebody that he knew, he like got out of prison, and like he knew they were like hurting somebody like he loved or cared about, so he went to their house. This is like not long after getting in like out of prison. He was maybe out for like a couple of years, and he went to kill that person, whoever it was. It was like, you know, just beating up on his daughter or his like niece or somebody in his family, like he holds close to. But he's just like, you know, he's just like, fuck it, I spent most of my life in there, so I'm gonna take care of this and then fucking go back.
It was a thing in his head at that point. He's like, oh, I'm not fucking kill an abuser. He probably beat him up in prison and everything too.
Dude, isn't that crazy though? Do you see what I mean with the sort of, I mean, obviously the guys are different, but the story of like him doing that, he's like, oh, I've been out for a little bit, all right.
Yeah.
What's it matter? Fucking do this, and you know.
I experienced this. I'm good.
Oh yeah, but no, and just going back to the Carl thing though, is you sympathize with him in such a way, and you're like, goddamn, you're like, when you really kind of get to know this in kids, you know, they can sometimes sense energy like that, and Frank was he was a smart kid. And he just was like, yeah, everybody said that. They're like, you don't seem like you want to hurt anybody. Like, he trusted his presence, and, you know, he wasn't wrong because, you know, if anything, like, Carl just protected him, a few times. Yeah. And, you just feel bad doing it because he endured, like, what he had to, even growing up, even to now. But it was an unbelievable Billy Bob performance too. So like that was just one of but the movie, it had multiple good things going for it, and it was nice because it was such grounded, how we were saying, like Arkansas, like gritty, reality down there. You could see this just being a situation somewhere
Mm-hmm.
in a lot of cases, especially just with the household, like outside of Carl. Um, but yeah, that definitely left a mark, and I was like, damn. And Apocalypto did too. That was a wild one. Like I really liked how true those kind of felt too. Of course, some of it we might not know for sure, and it was just stuff passed on, like whatever. But like, there's as much as they could, it was very much in like Mel Gibson's not gonna fuck around on that either, but just make it as reality based or close to historical documentation that you can.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it was those are both very like in their own ways. Obviously, they're very different, but just original concept kind of stories too. Like kind of just like brainchild. I want to make this kind of projects, you know. Like Mel Gibson, that was like something he really wanted to do, like a passion project.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, learning the language and everything. And Billy Bob, that was like a story he held near and dear with Sling Blade. Well, do we want to do this week's movies?
Oh yeah, might as well talk over them 50-50 and Almost Heroes.
Yeah. Who wants which one? I guess we can go over Almost Heroes first. It was first.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in ways, it's kind of funny because you don't learn a whole lot historically, but if you don't know the story of like Lewis and Clark, it's kind of like you do kind of learn a little bit there because it sets you in that time period. Like they talk about Thomas Jefferson and some of the different rivers and passages they had to go through and states they had to make their way through. But it's mainly just a purposely meant to be silly comedy, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's Chris Farley. You know, he's one of the co-stars in it. So if he's in there, chances are there's going to be some slapstick humor and it's going to be a bit ridiculous.
He was great. And I know we talked about like that being his last movie, and I mean it just kind of sucks because like with his energy and like how I know he was kind of a candle burning at both ends for the duration of his run. But the stuff I've seen him in, I was like, he was just hilarious. Like I can't even like, and there's just nobody like. There's versions, we were talking about this, like maybe there's elements of him and like Jack Black and people like that.
Yeah.
But overall,
sure.
he is, like, nobody's going to be able to do what Farley could do, like, you know, like him.
Yeah, he's
They play that exact role,
and
like that physical comedy, larger guy, just, you know.
Yeah.
The way he was able to.
He was just... the reason he was able to do that is because, like you said, he was that guy who's the candle burning at both ends. Like, he just, like, you could see it in the way he acted. Like, the way he literally, just his physical presence. He was just so energetic and, like, it felt like it was like, this guy's gonna have a heart attack in any minute. His face would get all red, he'd move all insane, just... He was that kind of guy, and he was on drugs, so like that didn't help.
No.
But my God, was he a one-of-a-kind comedic presence, though, and the things he was in. And there was nobody, like, he did kind of have that shtick, but nobody did that like him. It was his thing, you know?
He owned it, like, his way of doing it.
And Matthew Perry was like the straight man to his...
The more serious, like, guy.
He was the pampered white guy of the
he had some funny moments though, like when he was on the medicine or whatever, and he was like,
he was in that hot tub, that hot like golden tub, and his slave was like pouring the boiling water in it that he boiled over the fire. And he's like, my God, would you hurry up with those pictures, Jonas? It's freezing. And he's like, yeah, I know. I just had to go wash myself in the river. And he's like, oh, enough of your belly aching, Jonas. He's like calling over the boiling pitchers of water. It was hilarious because he was like, I am the explorer, you know, but he was like the most pampered
Oh yeah.
of anybody within the crew.
Oh yeah. That was a good dynamic to their to their duo, I think, in that one. Matthew Perry playing, and like Farley was just fucking unhinged too, like he always is, the wild man.
Yeah, they were forgotten.
Those two together, I'm sure they were to some extent like enablesome to each other on the set of that movie.
No, yeah, that was probably a problem.
The thing is Farley, I'm sure, is like cracking people up all the time, but who knows? Like nobody ever knows what's going on like outside of the situation.
Yeah. They were like playing the forgotten crew that was like on the tail of Lewis and Clark. Their adventure, like what a just hilarious story to tell anyways. It's just like, oh, these guys are like, oh, fuck Lewis and Clark.
Yeah.
They're gonna be a footnote. We're gonna beat them. Just like it almost makes you sound like the villain, because Lewis and Clark were like, now we see them as like, oh, you know, these guys were the guys. They went out, they did the westward expansion. They went out there first, and
they beat them at the very end.
Yeah,
beat them there.
That's why I thought there's more to that story, because I thought that he's like, oh, by next Christmas, we'll be sailing the Japans or whatever.
Oh, like they show like a cutscene or something.
Or I thought, yeah, the narrator said something like, but that's not what happened.
Yeah. Actually, they drowned.
Yeah. On their journey back home.
Yeah.
And nobody ever knew about them. Lewis and Clark got all the fame. You're like, just some shit like that.
That actually isn't a horrible, like, Good, the Bad, and the Shits at some point, though, is like the ending, like the movies that are always like, this person went on to become blah, blah, blah.
Oh, the things at the end.
Yeah, I don't know what you call that exactly.
Like, I kind of liked it for some of those movies, like Stand By Me and The Sandlot. Like, any movies where it's, like, kids and it's, like, obviously an adult narrator telling the story of the childhood. Like, it's kind of cool at the end when they're like, oh, well, what happened to those kids, you know, when they became adult. Like, in those scenarios, it's neat because you're never going to hear the story of this group of kids again, so you might as well tell me, you know?
Yeah.
What went on with them. It's kind of intriguing to hear. I think in Stand By Me, one of them, it was like, oh, you got drafted to Vietnam and got killed or some shit. It's like, damn. But yeah, Almost Heroes, man.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
That was
actually
so
really
silly.
fun. Like, and you know, like a lot of them, I'm sure, is Farley got to just really show like his chops and his acting and like just fucking bring himself to the role. And I mean, those, I'm sure they were written for those guys anyway, to some degree, because they were both on top of the world. And
Yeah.
Chandler was in Friends for like 5 seasons already, 4 seasons, whatever it was.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was already, like, I'm sure Matthew Perry had a good name following at that point, because Friends was probably massive.
Yeah.
By then.
Especially then when everything really was about the ratings.
Yeah. Yeah, that was, It's like seeing Chris Farley in movies. It's like, it's great to see his stuff because that's what you have. It's almost like Biggie Smalls or Bray Wyatt, where it's like, like you cherish what you have of them, but it's like, it's also like, damn, because you think about all the what could have been, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it could have been so much more, but that's history, man. That's just the way things happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like a pretty underrated role of Farley and Perry's. Like, dude, nobody really knows or talks about that movie, and it got a 5% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's not that bad.
No, it wasn't even. It wasn't anywhere close to that bad. I thought when we watched it. I mean, I definitely laughed quite a bit, and I mean, both of those guys and their dynamic was hilarious. I think that was way too harsh of a rating, really.
Whenever he's like peering through the telescope, when she's like in the waterfall, the girl that he ends up falling in love with, Matthew Perry's character, and Chris Farley comes up, and he's like, "Peer upon my muse, my love," or whatever he says, and Chris Farley like looks through it. It's like that hairy Frenchman.
Oh yeah,
there in the water, and he just like backs up and looks around. He's like, "Get away from me! Don't touch me anymore."
Get away from me! No, I thought that was definitely, like, I would probably agree with that. It's got to be a little underrated.
Yeah, that was definitely a very harsh rating, and nobody talks about it. And 50-50, man. Yep. The one you gave me, that was a much more...
somber.
It was dramatic, somber kind of movie, but it was also pretty comedic as well. I mean, Seth Rogen was kind of the comedic relief in a lot of ways, but he also had, like, a serious character in ways, too.
Yeah. Well, it was dealing with serious subject matter, so everybody's tone had to be based off of that, I think, to a degree.
Yeah.
You know, like their behavior towards, like, after the news.
It's like, oh my God. He's like, how bad is it? You got a picture of it? He's like,
yeah.
Why would I have a picture of it?
Yeah.
He was just like panicking, like just asking questions, didn't know what to say, just asking questions.
He took advantage of it though, man.
That's the that's the reaction you would initially have though, like somebody dropped that bombshell on you, you just like be asking irrational questions, you know?
Yeah.
You have a picture of it? Can I see it? What do you mean, do I have a picture of it? No, I don't got a picture of it.
He was like 27, I think, was their age about in the movie. Yeah, he said he was 27 whenever the Anna Kendrick said she was 24, I think. But the whole thing is he was like healthy and everything, and then he got this news dropped on him, and it was the spinal stuff, and the surgery was not a great, it was definitely risky. Anytime you do surgery, it's risky anyway, but it's especially... stuff like, close to your nerves, I would say, in your spine. Ugh, like, that's just cringy to think about.
It's just crazy to think that there's surgeons that can do it. That can go in there and operate around your nerves and shit.
Ooh. That's nerve-wracking.
Like, cut stuff out.
That's pressure.
Yeah. They deserve to live in mansions, those fucking surgeons. Shit they gotta do for work, like goddamn. That would be insane.
Yeah.
That's your job. Oh, well, I fucking cut people's back open by their spinal cord and operate around their nerves.
That's just such a risk, man.
It's like even thinking like any of those kind of surgeons that do that shit, like brain surgery, and not that any surgery is fucking easy. We've both been operated on in different areas for different shit too, but it's like the people that got to do the stuff like to deal with your heart, your brain, like when you got to operate on like fucking organs and shit, that shit's wild.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of along the lines of just telling the tale of that and his current girlfriend, and he kind of just really lives a bit of a somber tragedy before his life even goes that way. Like, it's not as bad, but it's like he's like already in like an unloving relationship, and he kind of like feels like he's almost too good at his job in a way. Like, he's unheard because he's not doesn't stick up for himself in a lot of ways, what I mean? He's not out there
He doesn't put himself out there like that, I guess. Seems like he was a hard ass worker at work and he enjoyed what he did, but like his boss, like he's like, oh, I'll have this done. You know, I'm gonna be on this. And his boss is just like, okay. Like didn't seem to really care that much. And then once he got diagnosed with cancer, his boss was like, I'm really looking forward to hearing that. Take all the time you need. Like he was like pampering him then.
He was giving him good grace then.
Yeah, that was.
But his mom got worried. She's like, I'm moving in. Seth's kind of like awkwardly reacting to it, but he's trying to like use it to get laid, and him and Joseph Gordon to get laid and shit. And I mean, it works and stuff, but I think he's like, he just kind of realizes he's like, none of this is really like doing what I needed to do. Like he's just more worried about like losing his life, I guess. But I would think like that whole time is being
I think
the person
I would be too.
I feel like the person that is in that situation would be like, they say there's always stages to it and stuff, but I feel like for a while everybody else would be going through like stages of it, and you just be like in permanent denial, like because you just be like, you know, just trying to understand.
I think it would be permanent denial, and then it would be kind of like what happened to him. Like he was kind of accepting the fact, okay, I got it. Like he knew he had it, and he was going through chemo, and he was just accepting that that's what was going on at that point. But he had his buddies, he knew his chemo guys and stuff like that, and everything was what it was. And then once that one guy that he had chemo with died suddenly, I think that totally flipped it for him. And that's when he went to the total other stage of being like, I'm dying. It's going to happen. I'm going to die. Like, even though you know that that's like always a possibility, you don't think about that being, you know, they're just laughing one day eating these like weed edibles or whatever, and you know that somebody made, and then like the next day he actually doesn't wake up, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, you know, you forget that you know, life happens in that way sometimes, like complete shock. But yeah, I didn't even recollect that from the movie, but it's definitely, I think in ways it can be kind of like, as he's going through all that stuff, an uplifting story, but also kind of like ground in reality. Like you're not going to have the cleanest reactions or like the most favorable, optimistic like thought process going forward if like this is your reality now and you are literally met with your own morality, you know, or mortality rather. So I mean, and you could even see like the therapist was saying that, like talking to him about that, and like she was trying to help, but she understood too that he's not going to be like, you're not going to react rationally after news like that. It's going to come out in some way, shape, or form, you know. It's like just, and you saw like once he told Seth to get out of the car, and he just was like, like he just needed to yell for a minute and like get it out. And then he like got on the phone and talked to her and stuff, but you could just tell it was eating away, and it just has to, you know, if it wants to fester somehow. The frustration. I think that was kind of the moment too, where he was like, he really fell for her. Like I think he was already kind of into her. Yeah. But then like when he called her in that stage, and she kind of like actually made him feel better. In that moment, he's like, she might be kind of right for me, you know? Yeah. Yeah, it was good. It was really well done too, though. It was a well told story. It was definitely sad at times, but like, it also was kind of like, it was sad, but it was uplifting. It was kind of like, it was a positive story in a lot of ways. Yeah, that's why I said, I'm like, it's not the same as $1 Million Baby by any means, but they both are definitely take that emotional hit. And I really thought it was good because you could kind of see everybody just gather around, and like he didn't want his mom to come over and all this stuff, but she was just trying to be,
care for him, and obviously his dad was already kind of out of it. And
Yeah, it's like she was very much the overbearing.
yeah,
You're being way too much, and you're kind of making me freak out more kind of parent.
yeah.
But then, like, from her shoes, it was probably horrible. Like,
Oh
her
yeah, and you could
husband
tell it's
had
like and that's
Alzheimer's at a pretty young age that
yeah.
happened to him. And then her freaking young son is diagnosed with cancer. It's like, what the fuck is going on in my
I
life?
was thinking about that during, and I'm like, not that more than just moms don't deal with it, but especially like a lot of the moms that are just stay strong whenever like so much stuff is going on like around them in those kind of situations. I'm like, goddamn, like it's like she was trying, she was there whether he wanted her to be or not, because even she's like, I just want to be part of it, and she's like, and even his point was like, well, aren't you already, like, you drove me here? She's like, yeah, like I let you, you know what I mean? Like he didn't have to do that, but he's like, I know you care and like want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
So it was definitely it felt like it was a really realistic portrayal in a lot of ways, with how, not that that's how everybody would react, and like some of your people, depending on who they are or whatever, wouldn't be supportive, but it was kind of like it kind of showed some of the negatives come out of him, like whenever he was frustrated with it, and like just the range of emotions somebody that might get a crazy diagnosis at a young age like that would have. And the stuff about his girlfriend cheating on him when he got, shortly after he got cancer. Not that that's, but it's like, it feels like, oh fuck, like it's like things are dealt a shitty hand. It's like, oh man, you get something like that and you have all these other things go
I
badly
mean, it
for you.
seemed like that relationship was probably done before
Yeah.
it even happened.
Yeah,
It was like, it pretty much seemed like she was on the outs, ready to go.
Mhm.
And then that news broke, and then she's like, oh, fuck. And then she felt guilty, and she had to stay, she felt like, and then, but it was like, she was miserable being there with him, and it was making him miserable too, so it's just like, why don't do it, just let it go at that point. But I mean, of course, it's obviously portrayed for you to feel that way too, be like, there's nothing here, there's nothing else. Yeah. There's nothing good left here.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a lot of layers to that movie, but it was pretty well done. Like I said, yeah, like Seth Rogen's character was kind of comedic relief at times, but he had a pretty serious role too, because he kind of saw his heart too, and that it like affected him a lot as well. He was just acting the way he was acting because he was him, and that's the way he was handling it.
Well, and honestly, I did appreciate, it was actually a really sweet moment whenever he, Seth, passed out on the couch and stuff, and then he got up to pee, and then he's just, he saw he was reading the cancer book.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, damn.
And,
yeah.
Notes written in there, paragraphs highlighted and shit like that.
It was is that movie, I mean, obviously it started and everybody was just kind of living their lives, and everybody wasn't that grateful or appreciative of what their situation necessarily was. I mean, Adam kept himself in good health, but the girlfriend was, that, and Seth was doing what he was doing. But then, they got the news, and that's why it made it so sweet, that last little bit of the movie, whenever things, that kind of relationship loosely started to form. Or even more so with the Anna Kendrick, and then they were able to operate. The operation was successful. He, got better. His scar was still healing, and then he grew his hair back, and it was damn, because the whole movie was that, just that whole process, and it kind of showed you a really real. Like I said, not that everybody would react that way, but it kind of gave you. It's we're used to the glitz and glamour of people being like, "Oh man." They're all we're fighting for you, and it's his life wasn't that great, and he, some of the people around him weren't even reacting favorably to somebody, what somebody like him might have been going through during that. But it's damn, because it's you kind of gotta see that side too, because some people don't have that support system,
Yeah.
And he did have a few, and a few's better than none, of course. But it's you know everybody doesn't have. So it's like it was kind of it felt all really realistic too. You know, just like damn.
Yeah, I mean, anytime there's a story about cancer, you know, there's going to be quite a bit of level of emotion to it. So,
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, do you got your
Yeah.
next movie?
Next movie for you? All right, yeah, I do.
You want to go first, I guess.
Yeah, I'll just throw it out there. All right. So this is something that I watched. This is a Netflix exclusive. It is jumping off the whole Farley and the comedy guys thing. I'm gonna bring it back into the sport comedy world with Adam Sandler's Hustle off of Netflix, which it says after a down on his luck basketball scout discovers an extraordinary team abroad or player abroad, he brings the phenom back without his team's approval. So he's just to kind of break it down, he's an international scout for the Philadelphia 76ers of the NBA, and he's trying to like basically search for the younger stars and everybody with hopes of maybe a promise to change the league just on an extraordinary skill level, So he just searches far and wide looking for great guys to bring on. And you'll see the one that he does find. I mean, it actually shows, I think, his maybe with some other guys and like do it.
Allen Iverson.
What?
That's who he brings on.
Is it?
I don't know. You just said the Philadelphia 76ers.
Oh yeah, no. I think this was actually a. Wait, was this real? This might have been a true story or loosely based. Yeah, I was like, okay, no, you're fucking around, dude. Yeah, I've only seen this once, but I actually really liked it. It was kind of a more serious Sandler role too, but it wasn't like serious. Like they still had their jabs and they're funny, all that stuff.
Yeah,
but it was like a sporty. So it was a little more
showed
serious.
More of his love for basketball.
Yeah,
in that one.
He did. He got to showcase that. But it was fun, and it was a good watch. So I think that's definitely like a Sandler comedy, or just not a typical Sandler comedy, but definitely a Sandler film that came out in the last several years. It's one that's really worth watching.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one, so that'll be interesting.
Came out in 2022.
All right,
so
Hustle. Well, I'm gonna go in a bit of a different direction. It's kind of fits my last movie because it's set again in the 1800s, but the later 1800s this time. But it's not a comedy. It's a Western action movie. 3:10 to Yuma.
Oh yeah, that's a Christian Bale?
Starring Christian Bale and Russell Crowe.
Okay.
Says outlaw Ben Wade, which is Russell Crowe, terrorizes 1800s Arizona, especially the Southern Railroad, until he is finally captured. Wade must be brought to trial, so Dan Evans, Christian Bale, the owner of a drought-stricken ranch, volunteers to escort him to the train. Along the trail, a grudging respect forms between the men, but danger looms at every turn, and the criminal's men are in pursuit. It's a pretty dope movie, though. It's like a modern-day Western, but there's a lot of like cool gunfight scenes and stuff, and it's just kind of cool to see Christian Bale and Russell Crowe, like actors of that level in a modern Western, It's well done.
I have never seen that, and I would be interested to watch it, so that's gonna be fun. 3:10 to Yuma. It's been out for a while, huh?
Yeah, it came out in 2007.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Been out for a while. Yeah, September 7th, 2007.
Okay. Yeah, those would be good. Be fun watches.
Yeah.
Hustle. 3:10 to Yuma. Yeah. Well, we'll be reviewing those on the next solo episode. I guess want to do one round of the good, the bad, and the shits before it's all said and done.
Yeah, we can do that.
Do you have one you want to throw out?
Yeah, you know,
while I pine over mine.
I figured since this whole episode's been about the movies in some situation, mainly overall the movie swaps in some way, but we've talked about movies the whole episode, so
yeah,
I'll kind of go that route with the good, the bad, and the shits. Why not? What do you think about the impact of a movie's poster? Like there's
like
some
on advertising.
Yeah,
I mean,
guess in a way, but also just kind of like, because like within horror, I guess I can think specifically. There's like just classic posters, you know. It's just like, oh, that's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or that's The Shining, and it just feels like it adds. It's kind of like. Or like, you know, Quentin Tarantino's always been really good with it. Like Pulp Fiction and Kill Bill, like they're very noticeable posters. Like it's like, boom, that's it.
Yeah.
So I don't know, just as a movie fan, I'm like, yeah, it's fun to collect movie posters, like, as a fan, but I just kind of mean the impact of what a movie poster does for the movies, yeah, advertising and its overall staying power, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's there's a lot that you think of that instantly you're it kind of gives you that iconic feel, like puts you in a certain place in time, or like at least a reference to that place in time if you didn't live through it. But I mean, a lot of the time, this is what I was kind of wondering as you were talking about the movie posters, is it because the poster's good, or is it an iconic poster because the movie was good, and therefore we're like, all right, this was fucking legendary.
I mean, I think it's part of that, but I think it's too, if it's something, one, that pops to the eye and you're just like, oh shit, that's that, and it kind of, it's immediately synonymous with it, but also like, if the poster fits the overall vibe of the movie, kind of too, like, if you can kind of see what you're in for a little bit from the, like, I feel like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you kind of see like a little outline painting of like Leatherface and his fucked up mask and the chainsaw. It's like you kind of see, you kind of know, like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre's in all like gritty red and shit. So you kind of have a feel for what you might be in for with that kind of movie.
Yeah,
you know?
They can be. They can misguide you though too, and they have in certain situations.
Sometimes that's part of the marketing.
Sometimes it's purposeful. And speaking of Return of the Jedi, whenever that poster came out, it was Luke with a blue lightsaber because they didn't want to give away that they were changing the crystal and it was going to be like a green one instead this time, because like he had lost the blue one, or so he thought. And then, I mean, at least it was explained in The Force Awakens and the new trilogy. Oh wait, no, it wasn't. But anyway, yeah, somehow Maz got a hold of that. A good story for another time. It's like, that's one of the most important things you could have answered.
That we will never tell.
And yeah, that's bullshit, dude. But, I just called that out. No, so one of the things was, they hid that. There was also posters and a trailer even whenever Infinity War came out, and Hulk was only Hulk for the opener, like the cold open of Infinity War, whenever Thanos got the first two stones and he beat the shit out of the Hulk, and then he was unable to attain Hulk form the rest of the movie, so he got in that big ass Iron Man, Mark Ruffalo, like Bruce Banner, you know? You remember. And so he wasn't even Hulk except for the first like few minutes of Infinity War, and yet he was put in the, like in the trailers and everything, like like charging, like towards them and everything.
It's meant to. They want to get
Meant to
people in
throw
the
you.
doors, man.
So they can be, like especially whenever you can really hide that. Now it just people would immediately just kind of give the spoiler. Oh, he's got a green lightsaber. You know, no, there's no. It's social media. That's what we were talking about earlier. I do think some of those things are gonna break anyway, but you can still be clever and a little bit manipulative if you want to be with like with the poster itself and like what you give away, because it's just like you can kind of leave it up for interpretation too, and like you're not actually like lying or bullshitting. It's just like, well, what are people thinking whenever they see this, you know?
Yeah.
And you can kind of figure out a way to make it really cool. I don't know. I since you asked that, I've been a little back and forth on it, because I mean, it is important, and obviously, you know, we love movie posters around here. The camera doesn't see them, but there's Scarface and Star Wars and all kinds of stuff over here. It's got the Nightmare on Elm Street one, though. But there is a lot more, too, than just the artwork and the poster, but it is something that's synonymous with it, because it's like, for the film, it's the representation. Like, whenever you're going through all these, there's going to be posters on everything, you know? Or, like, some other version. It might not be the old school one. But I'm going to say... I'm going to probably say fair, because I think it's pretty widely recognized that it is important, but
yeah,
it's
I think
not the
movie
only...
fans really dig them.
Yeah, no, I do too, and of course, like that's your. But it's like it's not. There is more than. But you've got to sell it, so it has to be. It has to be good looking. You know, you want it to be. But I think most people, in most cases, that is very well taken into account, and like you can tell by the people and the events that they show on the movie poster, if they show like little windows of things, or if like they just show a symbol or whatever.
Sometimes it's like the simpler the better.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like
because it leaves you
busy.
Whenever you give away like partial scenes on movie posters, you're kind of giving that away. Like if you keep it really simple, nobody knows what do you have the kind of the gift of mystique. You don't really, you're not giving away anything, and it's all it's like, oh, okay, Joker. We had no idea what the hell that was going to be about.
No.
I mean, we knew it was going to have to do with him, but we're like, the trailer did a magnificent job not giving anything away. It was just like him running the whole time, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, I remember we talked about that on here. One of the early episodes, you know, that I'm sure we did movie reviews on. But, yeah, I'm going to say fair. I definitely don't feel like it would be worthy of an overrated, but I also just didn't know if it goes unnoticed by anyone enough to be like, you know, to credit it with an underrated. Maybe in a sense, but I think a lot of people widely acknowledge like their promotional posters got to be important. Like I said, it's not maybe the most important thing to do with everything, but it's obviously how the movie's taken, but if you got a nice like looking poster or something that's attractive or just that pops, especially, I mean, and it's not just your poster, obviously, if the title's got to fit with whatever it is too and make sense and be a cool, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's got to just pop overall and people watch it, but yeah, it's a huge thing. It's not the only thing, but it most certainly matters.
Yeah.
You know?
It's definitely a big part of the marketing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it doesn't make your movie good.
Yeah. You want
overall.
it to be, you want people to check it out and for them to have a positive review.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I would agree with that probably.
So mine, actually, I'm gonna keep it simple too, because it's you know, it's getting late over there, or wherever people are watching from here.
It's getting late here.
It is.
Most certainly that. It could be early as hell.
It could
people
be.
Are
People in
to
Taiwan are listening, man.
Could be on their way to work.
It's those
listening to
bots
this.
that are those dating apps.
They're the only ones listening. Fuck.
But mine is gonna be, because I know now there's a huge craze with like the skinny pop and all that shit. But mine's gonna be, so like not microwavable popcorn, but like bagged popcorn that's just that. It's already made. There's no popping, no nothing.
Oh, just like the
Just the ones you buy from the store. I have
like the black bag of them. You know what I mean? Like
no. I mean like buying bags of popcorn. Like it could be Skinny Pop or like the store brand or like whatever.
Just any of
bag,
those
whether
ones.
they're white shredded.
Yeah.
It's not even about flavor either. It's about it being bagged, but not the one you pop
Not the stuff
and not
you
movie
pop.
theater
Okay.
stuff. So it's just the kind that's in just a standard bag, you know? Because to me, microwaved and movie theater popcorn is like way more exciting than that popcorn.
Man, I don't know, because some of that stuff is good though.
It is. It can be.
Like it tastes pretty damn good. Like that's I forget what even the brand is, but it's like the big black bag of it. That's like white cheddar. Might be called Smart Food or something even.
Probably.
But damn, that's good. Like some good stuff. So, and there's that that depends too, because sometimes the bagged popcorn's like the different kinds in there, like the cheddar and the caramel and all the other kinds of corn and all that shit's fire. So, I don't know, I kind of like it.
Yeah. No, I just, like, to me, most of the time whenever I eat popcorn, like, if I'm going to get something like that, I'm going to buy chips or pretzels or whatever else, and if I want popcorn, I'll buy the microwavable one or the movie theater popcorn, you know? I like it kind of being hot. Like, I don't know. I'm not a big... It's not that I don't like it, but I'd rather be eating chips or something else out of there if I'm just going to have that. Like, otherwise, I kind of want it prepared hot to me, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not
Popcorn.
like... I don't buy
I'm not
all
hell-bent
that
on,
much
like,
popcorn,
that,
to
but...
be honest, in
Yeah.
general. Like, I feel like... I don't know, like... I've never disliked it, but, like, my mom was really into it growing up. And, like, Haley likes it a lot now. Like, it's never necessarily been my snack of choice, but... I like it.
It's the
Just
ultimate movie watching snack, though, like in the theater.
Yeah.
It's just the old, like, this has been a tradition for fucking ever.
But I mean, I do kind of like that bagged popcorn a little bit, but I also feel like it's kind of taken off because there's more and
There
more
is.
of it. It's kind of got its own little section in the chip aisle now, so.
Yeah, too much. We need to reserve that. We need to
I would
reserve
probably
that
say.
for chips, for
Wait,
tortillas,
what other chip? You want hot
for
flavored chips
potato
over there?
chips. Yeah, about 14 different kinds of hot.
Just the hot, not like any kind of actual
Hey,
flavor. Just
I'm
hot
not
flavor.
keeping all these motherfuckers in business. Clearly, other people are paying for all of it too.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't think... I'm not saying, like, all spicy chips are bad. It was just that one time you had those Lay's chips and it was literally just called hot flavored. Like, that doesn't even sound that appetizing.
You're like, there's just something about, dude, I promise, this kettle cooked, flaming hot Lay's were so good.
Yeah, I mean... Because they're kettle cooked and they're
Yeah,
Lay's.
well,
you know?
yeah. The regular ones are good, but kettle cooked are just, they're fucking magnificent.
Yeah, just that style of chip, man.
Yeah, I don't know, it has taken off because everybody's like, oh, look at how little calories, not gonna eat this, oh, skinny pop!
Yeah, so I'll probably
Like-
say fair just because it is kind of out there and pretty accessible and people seem to be buying it. But I do enjoy some of it. I'm sure that there's some, like the real healthy ones and stuff, that's like, probably does not taste very good. But like, the few I've had and tried, I'm like, oh, this ain't too bad. I don't go out of my way to buy it that often, but...
No, just something about it, I'm like, it's kind of like the thing that I look at cereal. I'm like, I don't know if I really want to, like, buy the pot. Like, because if I'm going to buy it, it's going to be, you know, I love the popcorn, the movie theater. Every now and then I'll buy the some microwavable stuff, but I don't really buy. I've just never really bought much of the bag stuff. It's not that I think it's bad. I just would rather not eat it that way. I guess in a way, you know.
Yeah.
Because it's not even that I'm against
want it
the
hot.
flavors or whatever. Yeah,
Or
like I want it
warm.
prepared, like fresh in a sense at least. Not that it's not fresh in a bag, but it's not hot and it's not like it's just kind of like, oh, let's open this and eat this room temperature popcorn. Some people are like, the fuck is he talking English? But I am, and I'm telling you, bag popcorn, I mean, it's good. It's not great. It's fair.
Yeah, it's acceptable snack food.
Yeah.
Somebody hands me a bag, I'm not going to turn it down, especially, you know, if I had a little bit of smoke and I'm at somebody's house and they're like, here's a mini bag of this Smart Food white cheddar.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, oh, fuck
Those
yeah.
ones come in the variety packs.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about. Okay. I get you. Yeah, I mean, whenever you said Smart Food, I got it, but I was totally, like, drawing a blank before that I was like, what black bag? Yeah, some of that stuff, and I'm even sure the store brand's fine, and just, you know, Paul, they'll eat that stuff a lot, too. But it's just nothing like the movie theater popcorn. Whenever we saw Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, though, that was a bummer. Whenever me and Justin got the pretzel bites, and they were hard as a
I've done that
motherfucking
before at
rock.
the theater too, and it was the same way. I got pretzel bites, and they were cold and hard. I'm like, I'm never gonna buy these again. I paid like $9 for these.
Was that
things.
then?
It wasn't that time, but no, it's happened to me before
Have
with
you
the pretzel
bought 'em
bites at
since then?
Ronnie's. I don't think since then. No, I don't. It wasn't that long ago. It was like sometime I went last year that happened to me.
Movie theater gave me a great gift, man. Like, I saw Hard Eyes like late that night, and then they're like, "Hey, you can have the rest of the hot dogs if you want them." And I was like, "Fuck yeah!" I got like 5 or 6 hot dogs, and those were good. Like, I like, and that's, I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion or not, but like concession stand food to me is always fucking slapped.
Yeah.
Like whether you're at the ballparks with your fam or whatever, or if you're at like actual pro stuff, or like, you know, a lot of these places just, I don't know why they slap so hard, the burgers and the hot dogs and all that simple shit, but it has no business being as good as it is. Maybe it has something to do with, oh, it's like some of the only food around if you're going to get food right here, and you're like, oh my god, this stuff sounds good. But it always does. I always felt like it did.
Yeah, it's probably partially environment too. You know,
Yeah.
you're like you're
You're at the
there,
ball
you're
game.
having
Oh,
a
gotta
day.
get the shit.
Yeah, isn't it just? I thought that too. Always about like hot dogs, especially like a ballpark dog. Just there's something about it. You're like, damn, this tastes good. You know?
Oh, nothing like it at the ballpark.
Yeah.
Just like this fucking jalapeno spicy nachos or whatever's there.
Oh yeah.
I always loved eating those nachos.
Like that's the thing. So messy, but so good. It's like I'm trying to enjoy watching the ball game and not spill cheese all over my jersey. But damn, these are good.
Yeah, I remember us talking about this not too long ago. Trying to like, we were like pantomiming the fucking, oh shit, the drink, and like handling the drink and like the chips. You're like, oh
God,
shit,
yeah.
how do I do this? And like it's especially, bitch, on your way back to your seats. It's always one of the most tender moments too, to like as you're getting ready to sit down, where you're gonna put your beer so that you don't fucking spill it all over the place.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I need to, before I even move anywhere, hopping over the seats even worse. Oh shit, okay, where am I gonna put this? I'll put this down first. Somebody take my chips, I'm gonna get them. You like have to do it in like 2 or 3 separate moves so you don't spill all of it.
And then even when you're in your seat and you're back, it's like there's no comfortable way to eat and drink in that tiny ass little seat surrounded by everyone else. You're not gonna, you're not gonna be able to
comfortably.
adequately eat a fucking bowl of nachos and drink a almost overflowing beer.
Because you kind of still gotta stay in your little like unit of stuff, and then you'll fling some dip on you. Fuck, where are those shitty napkins at?
Yeah.
All right, here, give them to me, Heather. And then you're like, fuck, why
You're
you're
like
like, fuck, it's on my
trying to-
shirt.
You accidentally
You don't
knock
really have
something
a-
under the fucking row underneath you. I've spilt a beer under
Or you
the
lose like a
people
chip
underneath
or
me
something.
before.
A good looking chip with some dip on it, and you're like, motherfucker. You just paid. That's like $1.50 right
Kick
there.
some shit over as you stand up for something to let somebody. God forbid you get comfortable too eating, and then somebody's got to do what you just did and get through you now to get back to their seat.
Yeah.
You're like,
oh
fuck.
man.
Now I
There's
gotta
no
get up
room.
with all this shit.
You always do that thing where you subtly like lift up on the legs and you're like.
Yeah. And a lot of these stadiums now, there's no choice basically but to stand up and push against your seat because
Yeah.
there's just no room to get people through. They make the like walkway smaller than fuck in stadiums now. It's horrible. It's like you have no choice but to get intimate with the people that you are walking past. You are rubbing up on them.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they like it or you like it or not, it's like, I gotta get through here, man. And there's no other choice but to just make body contact with all these strangers on my way to my seat.
It's annoying whenever people don't feel like they're going fast enough. Whenever you're on the outside going through where all the concessions and restrooms are, though, you're like, fucking just got ahead. I could just get ahead of all these people.
Oh yeah, you gotta just move with the wave of fucking people. That's horrible. Like when
People just stop.
when the game ends and you gotta just move with the massive crowds to the exit doors. That shit's horrible.
Gonna run into traffic, that's for sure. Thousands leaving at the same time.
Yeah. What was it again? I answered. Oh yeah, I said
Bagged
fair. I said
popcorn.
fair. Yep.
Yeah, so that kind of even relates to movies in a sense too. A little bit of food.
Yes, sir.
Oh man, well, I think it is definitely time.
About that time.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. We will be reviewing Hustle and
310 to Yuma.
yeah, 310 to Yuma. All right. On the next solo episode, that's gonna be great. Be fun watches. So hopefully everybody enjoyed it tonight, and we will be seeing you next week. A little bit to go before the Royal Rumble. Not too much left.
Yeah, we'll be here before you know it, for sure.
I know.
Damn near through January.
Have to get into some wrestling as we are still in the remainder of the football season.
Yeah.
See what happens. Games coming up this weekend. We'll see who survives. Who's going to the SB 60, right? Woo!
Yeah, I think so. It is 60, isn't it?
I think so. Flat number this time.
Nice.
Alrighty, well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening in. We hope everybody has a great week, and we will see you next time.